Winters.
I don't know why they always.
This is not about Ethan Winters.
I don't know, but I don't know why they always say his full name like for most of Village. It's so weird. Like everyone always says, if it's not Ethan, they always say Ethan Winters. They always
it's one of those
call
names
him by his government name.
His government,
and it's
his
like
birth
why?
given name.
And it's like why? He could just say Ethan. If you know what his name is, just say it.
They're not on a first name basis with him. They have to say the full name.
I guess so.
They're not on a buddy basis with him. Anyway, welcome to more Resident Evil. Oh god, we did it. We beat Requiem, RE9. Holy fuck. It was good. It's a really good game. Just one thing to note real quick before we start. Vic is starting to kind of get sick. I am coming out of being sick.
No, I'm starting to feel better from my sickness. I don't feel as shitty as I was like a few days ago. So
Well, we'll see. If you truly had what I had, then it's just begun.
I mean, we'll see.
As you can hear, and it's mainly in my voice, in my nose, kind of. I'm a little stuffed still. But I'm getting better. So, just to preface why we sound so weird in this one.
Yeah. We're a little stuffy.
A little under the weather. But that ain't gonna stop us from talking about Resident Evil. Once again, we're back.
Yeah, especially all the shit that Requiem's been like, hey, so here's all this stuff.
Here's all this stuff about the game. I got spoiled on like 2 different things. Sort of. But speaking of, we're gonna do a non-spoilery bit, and then we'll go into detail on all the spoilers a little later into the episode, and we'll let you know when it happens. We're gonna be like, okay, spoiler section, but that's when we get there. So let's try and dance around it at first and just give some basic thoughts on everything and try to skirt around the big reveals and this and that, and then we'll talk about kind of the future. We'll go a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a hint there, near the end. So this is like an Act 1, Act 2 / somewhat Act 3 with like where we can go from here. But yeah, we'll start by just saying, again, the game's fucking good.
It's a really fun game. I really do, and like I said yesterday when we finished, I do think that they took all the best parts about the previous games and combined them into this. Especially considering, like, isn't this like an anniversary game or something?
Yeah. It's celebrating the 30th anniversary of the series.
Yeah, so I feel like they really looked back on all the best parts of the series and just put them in this game, and it definitely shows in like the references, the gameplay itself, and all some other stuff.
It's also, again, kind of like how I've been calling it. I've been calling it this, but I think others have coined this term as well, the legacy sequel. So that's been happening with a lot. Rift Apart, Crash 4, Sonic Frontiers. Like it's these games that are still part of the main timeline and the main, this and that. But whether it's been like a lot of years or a couple of years, or it's more of a modern thing to do, I would even argue Mario Odyssey is like a legacy sequel, because it's still continuing how like Galaxy and all of that, and how the 3D Marios have been going. But it does so much that's different. It's very, very contained in its story and what it does to be this cool standout title, and yet it references so many other games that came before it. And that's not a thing that most other sequels for these franchises in the past have done. Crash hasn't really referenced, once in a blue moon, it'll reference one specific game somewhere. Like Titans references Twin Sanity references Wrath of Cortex, but that's as far as they tend to go. It's usually as a one-off gag. But like Crash 4 has all kinds of references to tons of other games. The surfboard with Crash's tattoo pattern from Titans. Crunch is on the fucking refrigerator on the little letters, little letter magnets. Twin Sanity is the name of one of the trophies for beating the Entropies. You see the evil twins. So like stuff like that. Sonic does the same thing with Frontiers. This game, point being, does it too. And they reference a lot of the old stuff, like the first 3 games. They reference other stuff too. We actually missed a Krauser reference. We saw it. Huh?
Oh, really? I don't remember.
Not to say too much, but we saw it. There was a note you picked up I mean, I don't think it's much of a spoiler to say that the RPD is there, because of the fact that one of the last trailers that came out for the game showed it, that he was going back anyway. Plus, seeing the inside from those screenshots, like, why would you model that if we weren't going to go there? So it's not a huge spoiler to say that, yes, you do visit the RPD, revisit the RPD, I should say. There's a Krauser reference, which is pretty cool. Some of the ones that I liked that were really subtle, when we first played Blind, I didn't catch it, but I caught it while rewatching my stream, where, and when you played, I pointed it out, when Leon first goes to the Rhodes Hill Care Center, and he meets with the chick, and then she goes and leaves, and then comes back, that slow zoom in of the doors before she bursts wide open and comes back into the room, like, that straight up feels like a nod to the loading screens and opening the doors in RE1 and 2. I think 3 does it as well, like the OG like PS1 games, because that was there not just to build suspension. Not only was it a reference to like another horror game that came before it, but it was meant to be a loading screen to deload rooms you're already in and then to load the room you're about to enter. RE1 Remake kept it specifically because the fans wanted it. It didn't need it. And originally they didn't have it, but the fans wanted it, so they kept it. And it feels like very much like a good staple, right? And RE1, original and remake, are the only ones to really retain that. OG2 and 3, again, I think have that too. But ever since RE4 onward, they have not done the door thing. So to have just a quick little, what feels like a reference to it in the cutscene in Requiem was really cool. And of course, trying to get out of the care center with the little quartz things that are the moon, the sun, and the star, immediately, like you see it in my stream, immediately reminded me of that tiny little puzzle from RE1. It has to do with the moon, the sun, and the star. And the way you get the Magnum in RE1 Remake, because they recontextualize that puzzle to be in the graveyard, and you get the Magnum that way.
Oh, right, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really, because that's how you have to open the door to get out of the mansion to begin with in the original game. But in the remake, they recontextualized it and moved it a little. But that's what I thought of immediately, because no other game after RE1 did that. And I'm like, that's cool. Bringing back little tiny things like that. And again, there are so many nods to RE2 and RE4 and RE7 specifically. Also, I talked about it in the stream I did. Well, let's date this. Today I did my second Requiem stream, so you'll see that. That's what's today, the 5th. So there you go. Dated the podcast, but anyway, I fucking found out last night while watching like a details you didn't see or whatever. The antique coins have Miranda on them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I knew there was some kind of a face or a pattern on there, but I'd never examined the coins.
Yeah, I noticed there was a pattern on it, but I never examined them, so yeah.
And I was like, oh, funny. Shit, that's cool. And then, of course, the wine bottle is a Dimitrescu, wine bottle. We caught that, like, immediately. I mean, it's hard to miss. You need it for a thing, so. But, okay, so basic thoughts, I guess, on, like, the game overall. How did you feel about it compared to the fact that you and I did our binge? That's I like that we did our binge, and it's only really, I think, because of our binge that we even had the interest to play this game.
Pretty much.
Because at the time we were doing our binge, which, mind you, was a year ago, late 2024, early 2025, we started to, like, what was it that even sparked it? We just played the first original Resident Evil on VidGames randomly. So it was very much like Doom, because with Doom, we played the PS1 game, and I was like, okay, this is fun. I think the more modern ones are more streamlined, they're more modern, obviously.
I think it's that, and then also the fact that we also did one part of RE4 OG.
True.
And
well, that was a one-off as well.
And at first it was a one-off, and then we were like, well, let's do a full playthrough of it, and then like...
also because Mihara wanted us to do it.
Yeah.
that also helped. I think she kind of jumpstart. And see, because, like, again, prior, a little bit of, just a small... glint of a backstory on how we even got here, Vic and I. I had always known about Resident Evil, obviously. Horror was just not a genre I wanted to touch at all. But Resident Evil helped me to kind of like slowly start to kind of break into that genre. And I knew about RE4, I knew about RE1, and Leon comes from RE2, Claire. I knew the bare basics of like, okay, that guy's Barry, there's Chris, Wesker, is a bad guy, posing as a STARS member. So like, I slowly, got to know the basics of that stuff, and Jill Sandwich and Master of Unlocking, all the memes. I already knew about that stuff, but I never experienced the games, and so when we played RE1 original for VidGoals, it made me go, okay, so like, what's the remake like? Before even we got to the remake, I went to the most modern one we had at the time, which was Village, and already knowing Village through the Benevento stuff and all of that, and Dimitrescu, obviously, I'm like, okay, so this is probably the best place to kind of start to just get into the series, I guess. I mean, it was a weird entry point, mind you. Maybe we should have started with RE1 Remake to fully, like, try to beat an RE game from beginning to end, but we did it with Village. And when we did it with Village, I was like, okay, it was cool, it was fun, and it's satisfying to do the puzzles and to progress and all of that. It's a very streamlined game. It's a very linear type sort of a game, for the most part. But going into, like, RE1 Remake and really feeling it out and with the music and the characters and all that, it was sick. It was super cool. And again, just very satisfying to do the puzzles. This will factor into Requiem, I swear. But literally from RE1 Remake, we then went chronologically. RE1 through 4, we did the remakes. As you're seeing right now, we're still going through OG RE4 here. Sort of blind in the sense that I've still never beaten that original RE4 beginning to end. So that's what we're doing on the channel right now. But we beat RE4 Remake and all that stuff. Then we went to 5 and then 6. So if you want to watch and rather hear our thoughts on that, Miharu was on that episode as well. We did do an RE series podcast. The only, again, still games I have not played from beginning to end are RE0. I only played a little bit of that one. And Code Veronica I own, have not even touched it yet. Haven't touched it yet. Fuck. I cannot talk. But the numbered ones besides 0, I have played. And then there's Outbreak, which we didn't fucking even reference in the last podcast because we didn't know about this game. That's the thing. We were speculating on the future of Resident Evil after Village, and we already knew 9 was...
We were just trying to figure out what 9 was.
Because we already knew it was in development. The more I was looking at more recent, more modern Resident Evil stuff as we were going through our binge, I realized, and Capcom had just said about a year or so, however long ago, that the next... I don't think they really said it was RE9, but they said the next Resident Evil is in development. And that's as much as we knew at the time. And me still getting into it, I didn't really pay it much mind. But then, soon, all of the rumors started to come out. Which meant if rumors were coming out that at that point, then the game might be ready to start getting shown off at some point. And we were hearing shit like it takes place on an island, and Jill and Leon are the protagonists. And they're going to do an A-B story again, like in RE2 and RE1, and I was like, oh shit, that's cool. Didn't exactly happen that way, of course, but Leon is there. Leon's in this one. I was still holding out hope we would see Jill at some point. There is something, again, in the RPG that we didn't miss. You can actually go to the STARS office still.
I was wondering if you could. I was wondering
there are tons of things we missed in the RPG.
I was going to say, I was wondering what other places we could have seen in the RPG if we had given ourselves the time.
There are a ton of things we missed. You can see fucking Tofu. You can summon Tofu. That's how much we missed. It goes that deep.
Fuck, man. Okay, it's whatever. I mean, we can.
You find 2 pictures that are berries, and then in doing that, you go back downstairs to the bottom floor, and if you look out at the like blown out walls and stuff, as you kind of venture along the more of the bottom floor, he'll poke his head out or whatever, or he'll walk around. If you shoot him, he'll shout at you in Japanese. It's funny. It's great.
That's funny.
Tofu is such a funny character.
That's hilarious.
But Yeah, no, like where was I going with that? It's just cool to see that, now all this time it's cool that okay, that's what I was gonna say. It's cool that we did our binge when we did because it was the appropriate time to get hyped for when RE9 was eventually shown off, and they fucking edged us so bad. God, dude, fucking Capcom, why are they teased like it's like they're Ed Boon? Like I swear to God, like in that was it the Game Awards? I forgot even where it was. Um, or Summer Game Fest or some shit. I think it was Summer Game
I
Fest.
think it was Summer Games because I wasn't with you when they announced it.
Yeah. I was doing a stream with Miharu and Fez, and Fez kept getting hyped for a bunch of shit. He saw like there was Sonic Cross Worlds and like something for Yakuza, or like it was what was it? It was a Project Sentry. Like they showed that off fully or whatever. Um, and I'm over here like, dude, I'm not even expecting Crash or Spyro or anything like that. I'm not expecting much. The one thing I'm expecting because people are talking, whenever people start to talk about it and go, "Oh, breaking," from some dude who's like, who knows shit, there might be a leak or there might be something for the new Resident Evil. So at that point, I was like, "Oh shit, cool, okay." The next day after Village, cool.
Mm.
And then we didn't hear shit for a while. There was a state of play before Summer Game Fest. Because I named it Manifesting RE9, and then it didn't happen. So I was like, "Fuck." And then Summer Game Fest happens, and there's Mackie Robertson, voice of fucking Dimitrescu, being like, "We're slashing the prices on sale. It's on sale for all the Resident Evil games." And that's our big announcement. I was like, "The fuck do you mean? Like, why are you? What the fuck?" And then one of the goddamn like directors or something for the Resident Evil team shows up and is like, "Yeah, we're patiently, we're glad you're waiting for like the next entry." He goes, "The next entry in the Resident Evil series," and I'm over here like, fuck. He's mentioning it. RE9 mentioned. Holy shit! And then he goes, "You have to wait a little bit longer before we're ready to show anything." And I was like, "Fuck." Okay, God. All right. I mean, I guess that's the confirmation. We're slashing the prices so you can start playing the games before we announce the new one. But the fact is that the new one is close to, it's almost here, so whatever. They said you have to wait a little bit longer. I already gave up hope after that. I was like, okay, what the fuck ever. And then they show off the trailer, and it starts with the FBI, and then we get introduced to Grace. And I'm over here thinking, because I heard Ashcroft, I thought Ashford, so that's to come in the reaction. I was like, is this a Code Veronica remake? Are they doing the next? So then I was thinking, okay, logically, I'm trying to think in a logical way of how they're doing this. I'm like, okay, so maybe that was there. Maybe his message was there to say the next entry is coming soon, like the next new, like RE9.
Mm.
But for now, here's the next RE project, which is another remake.
Yeah.
And because I don't know fucking Code Veronica, I'm like, is Grace from that game? Are they trying to like not focus on Claire and focus on the other lead character? And again, too, this is all predicated on the fact that I misinterpreted Ashcroft thinking Ashford. I got the Ash part right, but the other part was wrong. And so that's the time I go, Code Veronica? And I'm like, show Claire, like, what is this? And then no, they completely surprised us by showing off it said Requiem, and then it goes boom RE9, and we were like, oh fuck, what the fuck?
Yeah, everyone collectively freaked out.
And yeah, that was crazy. And then Leon.
Yeah, Leon, the worst kept secret ever.
So many people were speculating there was the funny mock-ups of him with like a fucking eye patch and like a big poofy beard and shit. And I was like, you know what? If he is in this, and he probably is because everyone's saying it and everything, whether real screenshot or fake leak or whatever, I'm not looking at shit anymore. And I tried my hardest to stay away from a lot of stuff. And yet still, who was it? Someone fucking said, I think in one of our servers, like, dude, Leon! And, oh, no, how it leaked out was that, I think the PlayStation Store accidentally updated Requiem with one of the wallpapers, one of the, like, splash screens or whatever, the key art, rather, that had Leon on it. And I was like, and I saw a quick glimpse, I was like, oh, fuck. Because someone fucking shared it on Twitter. So that night, we were watching the Game Awards, and that's come in that reaction video, I was like, hey, guys, everyone who's watching the video, because you can't see us in the stream, but you can see us in the reaction video. Yeah, I was spoiled by this. I was like, Leon, he's like 48 now. Jesus.
I know it's funny because I'm looking at the picture of him, and it's like, it's so funny because he looks about the same, but just noticeably older.
Hair's a little longer. He's more grizzly. He's got more wrinkles. If you look at a lot of his,
a bit deeper.
It's a lot deeper. Yeah, it's really funny hearing him back in RE2 remake, and then hearing him here.
It was really funny seeing him in RE2 remake because of just how young he looked.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
I don't know who the original voice actor was for Leon, and if I remember right, I think he passed away. I think. I can't remember. But, because there was the original voice for OG RE2, and then there was the guy that I'm forgetting that Miharu's going to remind me about for RE4. And I think he also voiced him in the CGI movies, if I remember right. And Nick Apostolides is now the current voice. And he's like a super mega fan. Like, when he goes to cons and shit and does panels, he cosplays as Leon. He does his hair up like that. He does he's got the RPD outfit, uniform, and so...
That's dedication right there.
Because he's a hardcore long-time fan. So the fact that he gets to play Leon, like one of the most iconic...
Yeah, it's like, how could you not,
protagonists of the series, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like what I was saying, too, like when we were having our conversations with Mom and everything, because, again, Mom was watching us play. I'm like, yeah, we have to remember, too, like, because we didn't grow up with Resident Evil... It's a little hard. It's understandable. We can do it, but it's kind of hard to remember and to really realize how big this franchise is from a popularity standpoint. Like, it's one of the biggest horror video game series ever. Like, period. Full stop. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, to put that into perspective, this game, it took 5 days and it sold 5 million copies.
Yes,
said?
It is the best-selling game in the franchise, and it was the fastest to hit that kind of a milestone.
Which is
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Because again, it backs up everything that came before it. Whether, again, how we talked about in our previous RE podcast, like the good, the weird. I can't really call it bad. I have a soft spot for RE5 and RE6. Like I said before in that podcast, I grew up with a couple Black Sheep games myself. Again, Crash of the Titans, the Legend of Spyro series, the ones that did shit quite different. And a lot of people, the majority for those types of games, they don't like them very much. Those games still have their fans. I am one of them. But again, point being, I grew up with a lot of Black Sheep games. I can understand. Even with, like, Star Fox Adventures, which I didn't grow up with, I've been playing that. I say I haven't in a while, but I need to get back to playing that on stream with Miharu and Fez, and I'm actually really liking it. Like, I think it's going to be the first Star Fox game I beat beginning to end. Like, and really it's the first Star Fox game I've ever actually played, because I don't think I actually played even so much as a little preview or like demo or whatever for like the OG Star Fox or like even Star Fox 64. Never played those. But the whole space battles and stuff and shooting and auto-scrolling, like that's what Star Fox is. Star Fox Adventures does shit way different. It's essentially a Zelda game, but with Fox, because it was supposed to be a whole other game. But with what Rare did, like, it's... People kept saying, oh, this, and oh, tricky, and you have to, like, keep an eye on him, and oh, this and that, and I'm over here like, I'm playing this, and I'm playing it live, so you can see literally how I'm formulating my thoughts and my feelings about that game, and it's not as bad as people have been saying it is, which is another example of people just hating on games like that for no reason, or maybe not even no reason, but more so they wildly, like, throw shit out of proportion. I've even seen people kind of, not so much as hate, but saying the music in Requiem is not good, and oh, this and that. I'm like, oh, shut up. Like, there's having critiques, and then there's just being negative for the sake of, like, oh, it's not as good, it's whatever. Like, shut up. Again, Resident Evil Requiem takes a lot of what came before, especially from the most current modern 5 games that came before this. 7, Village, and then 2, 3, and 4 Remake. All 5 of those, the best of all of that is what this is, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
The fruits of those games' labor.
Yeah, I mean, to thinking back on playing it, it really did feel like a lot of different elements combined, like using the map system, like using the map, which made me think of RE2
Yeah.
remake more so. Um, and then like, and I liked the map's usefulness of being like, hey, in this room, here's this item, and here's this and that. Like it shows everything that's like pretty much in that room.
Well, I still like that RE2 and 3, but mainly 2 remake did the map system so well because if you need stuff and you can quickly go and check on the map which rooms you haven't cleared out.
Mm-hmm.
Requiem doesn't do that, but it does have a super the map is super detailed,
Mm-hmm.
but B it does still show when you approach an item and you don't pick it up or you can't pick it up, you can save it for later and it'll show up on the map. So and then all the blood locations are just pretty much automatically shown, which is very helpful too. And when you hover over the blood, you can see how much is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to plot out a course for trying to get some blood to do crafting, we'll talk about that in a minute. You can see where you want to hit up specifically, which is cool. So again, the resource management is still there. I was explaining this in the stream too as well, my second stream that I did today at the time of this recording. Again, yeah, so resource management and finding out when you want to use what item, when to go get an item, what to use on what zombie, because the zombies are super unique in this game. At first, I didn't fully understand what they meant when they were saying, okay, these zombies are going to be different. But when I saw some of the previews, I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. But then when you play, it's like, okay, now I understand. These dudes are advanced. These are not the exact same zombies like in the previous games. It's cool that we're going back to zombies because we were doing like lichens and like the molded in 7 and 8. So we're going straight back to T-virus zombies, which is cool.
Yeah, but I like that it's like, oh, but this time they're mutated. It's a mutated strain of the T-virus and stuff. That's what's infecting them. That's what makes them very unique for this game and stuff. I mean, actually for like the lore and stuff.
I was gonna say, I guess we should talk about the mechanics because this is a brutal Resident Evil game. They don't shy away. They never shied away from the violence and stuff. And these more recent ones definitely haven't. But like, holy fuck!
Oh yeah, when it comes to
skewer a cop through the eye with a fucking those little picks you use in the fireplace. That was already. I was like, oh, Aaron's not gonna like that. I told him, I'm like, look away, look away.
Yeah. Yeah, when it comes to the grotesque stuff, they don't shy away from that, but I find that very cool because it's right in your fucking face.
I mean, it's an M-rated horror game, so why not take advantage of that?
Right. I even like the way the monsters are designed in this game, like some of the creatures, the Zambos.
Yeah. So like for some of the mechanics, I guess we'll talk about that. Again, the blood. I was just saying this on stream. The blood collector is really cool. It's an interesting mechanic, and for future games, I hope for future mainline games, if they find a way to make this shit work for like any other remakes, that would be interesting. But for the next game, I hope they do this again because it's a really interesting mechanic, and I feel like they could probably
it's really cool. I
elaborate on it.
Like it, especially with the fact that it's like and since we aren't playing it, we didn't play it on classic difficulty. You can use that to make ink ribbons. And stuff as well. If you find like an empty tin and whatnot, which is really cool. You can just make saves and whatnot.
Yeah,
but that's only if you like have enough of the infected blood and stuff.
Again, it's
resource
really cool,
management. And it ties into the whole resource management mechanic and whatnot, which I find really cool.
Yeah, so with the help of transfusion bags, the fact that you should probably go for, and Vic didn't do this in his save, but you should definitely go for the
go for the parlor stuff.
the little manual in the parlor.
If you get the NT coins, go to the parlor.
You can win them. Did you know you can win them?
How?
You can play roulette.
Oh, the roulette.
You shoot a number and then you do it.
Oh.
And if it lands on your number, you get a coin.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Again, that details video I saw, I was like, oh shit. And I actually used it to my advantage in the stream. I was like, I need one coin, so I just did it. I was like, oh fuck yeah, let's go.
That's funny.
So it's really cool. There's lots of little details like that. But for the blood and stuff, again, yeah, it's like managing. So with the point of us referencing the parlor is to get the most expensive little item there, which is only 6 coins. So you can crank up your amount of blood from 100 to 150, which is very helpful, and it's necessary to craft stabilizers and steroids. So,
Which I will say, I am, I am like proud of the fact that I beat this game without needing that, but also I'm like, if I had that, it would have been very useful.
yeah.
I could have avoided death fucking easily. I would have avoided a lot of stupid ass deaths and whatnot, but I mean, I got through without it, so I mean, it's not like it's impossible or anything. It's just gonna be a bit difficult, but not too hard.
Well, even without crafting like those things that demand more blood over 100, but like it also means you're able to carry more, and then you can craft other smaller things faster. So if you need ammo or some kind of like an injector in a pinch, you can get a lot of blood from the different areas. Again, you can plot out your course for where you want to go and when you want to go get blood or get otherly items you might have like just left there because you couldn't get them before, like your inventory was full or something. It really feels like some RE1 levels of like management for the resources, because you are constantly out of bullets, you're constantly out of health, and you have to plot your course very carefully.
Yeah, and when your inventory gets too full, you have to go back to dump off your stuff in your item box, in your inventory box.
That's what makes it so satisfying, because as you go along, you do these little puzzles, and you do the weird... I did not understand how it worked at first. I mean, I understood it when I did it, but when they were explaining it to me, I'm like, what? Where it's like, grab these little samples, and you go to the little thing, and you can analyze them, and then you have to do this little fucking thing on the computer where you turn the little atoms from, like, this to this, and I was like, what the fuck? What is this even for? Like, I'll do it, but, like... And then I quickly learned, so, A, those are actually quite easy if you pay attention. B, you do want to analyze as many of those as you can find in the care center, because C, if you do, then you can craft. It unlocks your ability to craft more shit. You can craft magnum bullets. You can craft again the stabilizers and the steroids. There's only about 3 or 4 of those puzzles you need to do anyway. So when you do them all, then you can craft like the whole set of like. There's all these things you can do. So again, bringing the crafting mechanic back from like Village. I think 7 had it too.
7 had it.
RE4 Remake I think had it. So bringing the crafting back, and then sort of, tweaking it a little, recontextualizing it a little, adding this blood mechanic in there. Things like that. It really combined too with like the older, more traditional mechanics of having the item box, having your small inventory, getting your hit pouches. That's straight up RE2 and 3 Remake. I'm not even sure. I don't know if hit pouches are what do it in the OG as well. I'm assuming you can bump up your inventory in those games, but you probably can't now that I think about it. In fact, no, you can't. Because if RE1 Remake is anything to show for, no, you don't ever actually upgrade your inventory. Yeah, no. You have the 8 slots and that's it. So yeah, that being a more modern mechanic is cool. The fact they kept it in this one is good. It's very good. And so it just feels so satisfying to do puzzles and to do your management and all of that, and then choosing where to go and when to go grab some blood and where from and how much you need to grab. Like it's really cool. And what gun to use on what zombie. So we should probably get into that now, because the zombies are different. Despite them being T-virus zombies, the mechanic of what makes them so different this time around is that having that extra mutation makes it to where they're still very aware of they're aware of their surroundings and stuff still, but they are aware of who they were before they turned. So they retain a lot of their normal human characteristics, personality traits. So the chef will still try to like chop stuff up, or this dude who works I think for the center is infatuated with like
The light switches.
keeping the lights off, and
There's like a cleaner lady that tries to like clean up blood and stuff like
if she grabs you, she'll try and like wipe your face. It's really funny.
That's funny.
Saw that firsthand. I had never been grabbed by her, I think, prior, and then I watched that details video last night, and then in today's stream, I fucking got grabbed by her, and I was like, oh, there she is, scrubbing my face.
That's funny.
So I wonder what she does when she kills you. I wonder if she scrubs you like raw or something. I have no idea. But it's the details like that again that are really cool, and again, just how. So basically, these zombies can like still sort of talk, and they can. The only thing that would have been cool is if they that this game doesn't do is if they somewhat coordinated with each other. If they could actually talk to each other, like if you could like approach and you can kind of hear them or see them like a silhouette or something, and it's like 2 or 3 zombies actually talking to each other. Having like you could listen in on the conversation before you go and start fucking them up. That could have been maybe you can save that for another game or something. But this is a start of them like doing something really different with these zombies, and it's kind of cool. It's also kind of fucking annoying because there are certain rooms and certain areas and certain specific zombies that I just don't like dealing with. Comes from that comes with any Resident Evil game, but for this one it's like, oh fuck, like the singing fucking ladies. Jesus Christ, they are a bitch to deal with. They scream at you and they can wake up other zombies to go after you. Trying to get the corrosive in the stream when I was doing it, I died because I was dumb and I mismanaged my stuff, and all of them just hounded on me.
Yeah, I remember, I died of that part too. I remember.
And you don't have to kill those singing ladies at all, but killing both of them nets you the achievement or the trophy. There's also a big chungus, the chunk as they're called, which you can. I found out you can just hit him with 3 hemolytic injectors and he'll die. So I did that on stream. I also found out there's a really weird roundabout way. I'm not sure if it's like a glitch or like what the deal with this is, but if you kite the guy with the blood, like the stand for the blood packet, like the hospital thing, so he uses that to actually attack you, and he complains about the noise. So if you kite him to a very specific corner of that room, and how Chunk can like go up and down that corner or that like hallway, if you have him, they say in the video it works better when he's going from left to right, not from right to left. So if you set it up, you have to set it up in a specific way. The noise Chunk makes when he comes through from the left going right will aggravate that one zombie, and if you set him up to where he doesn't really see you, but he gets attracted to that guy, he can go and start just fucking waving his thing around. He can actually hit him, and he can one-shot him.
What the fuck, really?
I was like, what the fuck? Is that intentional? Like, it doesn't. The way it's set up doesn't make it look intentional.
That should be intentional because that's really funny.
Yeah, I hope they don't. I hope that wasn't like a mistake, and then they end up patching that out because that's crazy. It's a cool way to, again, whether it's scuffed or not, I'm not fully sure at the time of this recording. A little trick like that, again, goes to show like the risk and reward of like, do you want to go for a setup like that? Do you want to avoid him altogether like we did initially? Or do you want to hit him with 3 injectors, but you're going to find the materials to do that shit and have enough blood on you to make all 3 injectors and then hit him successfully every time, and then you'll blow him up and you get a trophy for it. You get an achievement. So it's stuff like that. And again, with how you're saying the designs and how like fucking ugly he is and how crazy he looks, and the fact that he's a roaming enemy, it's like, oh fuck, like, and you can hear him somewhere down, like when you enter the east wing, and then he's causing havoc somewhere, and it's like, oh fuck. And he can actually stand up when he's in like that big like
room, yeah.
When he's in that room or wider rooms like that, he has room to breathe. He can actually stand and walk around. Otherwise, when he's going through halls, he's pushing his way through, and it's like, oh fuck.
Yep.
So he could block off passages like straight up.
I kind of wish they did a little bit more with that enemy, where like maybe there was like another one where like that was in like some other part they had where it's like you have to go through it and you have to avoid them or something like that, because you fight one as Leon in one of his segments,
because those 2 chunky dudes are twins,
yeah,
or at the very least brothers.
But like, I kind of wish that they did like a bit more where like maybe it's like an option, whether it's an optional area or whatever. They could have at least had one to where like it roams a certain way and like in a way where you have to like deal with them, and
Yeah.
whether it's to avoid them, to fight them, whatever. Like as long as you like, if it's you in the room with that enemy, then it's like, okay, figure out how to solve this or figure out how to do this. You know,
The potential for
because other than that, like how you're saying, like you can just avoid them when going through the hallway and the east wing and stuff. Like
Yeah.
you don't have to interact with them at all.
No, you
You
don't.
run away from that first when you're going to get to the corrosive.
Yeah,
But,
you literally can't deal with him right when you first encounter him.
yeah,
There's no
but,
way you're going to die.
yeah, but other than that, like afterwards when he's roaming in that pattern, like that's all. Like he's only just there, so like you can just so it's either you just avoid him or you inject him or you do that trick or whatever, and that's pretty much it. Like, you know, so
The potential for stuff like that to come back is there. The pacing. If there's one thing I had to say, and I'm still on the fence about how I feel about it, but the pacing for certain things was a little weird in the game. Like for example, this blood mechanic, it's there at the beginning with Grace and at the end with Grace, and that's it. Because for a good chunk of like Grace's middle segment, you don't need that. There is no blood mechanic because of what you're having to do there in the prison. The blood isn't there. You don't need it. There's so it disappears for like a good chunk of the game, like the entirety of the middle of the game, and then the blood mechanic comes back at the end when you're in the arc in an arc. And even then, not for very much, not for very long, not for as long as when you're in the Chronic Center.
yeah, it's worse in the Chronic Center than anywhere else.
But what I do like about the game, and I say this too, because not only for things like that, but also for like Leon, near the end of the game, you all of a sudden you just fucking get like a digital version, which we'll explain later, a digital version of like the merchant where you can just start all of a sudden tuning up your weapons, and they didn't even hint that that was a thing you could do in the game as Leon. At no
Yeah.
point did you have to tune up your weapons, or you were still finding shotguns and fucking rifles and shit. All of a sudden, by the final third of the game, now you can tune up things and like buy and sell a digital version of the merchant. There is no actual merchant in the game.
Yeah. Also, what I found a bit weird too, now that I'm thinking about it, there's never a thing where it's like, oh, at this point in the game you can get this weapon which is a better one of what you're currently holding or whatever. Like okay,
You kind of do, but it's very rare. Like again, the
like actually I didn't know this until I watched Ray play Requiem. You can get the gun that Grace had in the beginning. You can get.
I was
that
just
back.
about to say that. Yeah.
that it's in that bar area.
Yeah.
Where the piano was. That one scene.
that's what I'm saying. It's kind of there, but not really.
Yeah,
And it's a better gun.
But it's like you have to go out of your way to find it, and the game doesn't really hint at like that you can do that.
Well, to be fair, RE4 never really shouted at you that you could do that too, unless you're with the merchant and he has weapons to sell or to sell you. Other than that, you do have to find certain things on your own. We did have to do that a little bit too. It doesn't matter which version, really. But it's not in there. Point being, though, from RE4, since that's a mechanic for Leon, straight ripped from RE4. It's the merchant, just without the actual merchant. It's a digital version, like I said. But that mechanic, the merchant mechanic, and buying and selling and upgrading and selling shit for money, started at very much at the beginning as you're escaping. You know, after you and Luis were captured, like whether it's the OG version or the remake, the merchant's introduced at the beginning of the game, right after that moment. And then the merchant becomes a constant thing, and you're fucking glad to see him every time you see his torches and stuff like that. So it's a constant. It's consistent. In Requiem, they don't even, again, hint that that's going to even be a feature, a returning mechanic, until you're in Raccoon City. And it's like, oh, okay, randomly now we can just upgrade our sniper, upgrade our shotgun, upgrade our the Requiem. Like, what the fuck? Okay.
Or just get better
Um,
versions of those guns and stuff like that.
yeah, it's like, where was this mechanic like earlier in the game? How come it only shows up in the final third? And again, with Grace's blood mechanic, it only shows up at the very beginning in the Chronic Center and then at the end in
Well,
the facility.
it kind of like, what's the word? Wanes a bit. Like, it's more so like you are introduced to the mechanic in the Chronic Center, and then you're using it throughout the Chronic Center.
Sure, but
And
it's
then
not a
as you're
consistent
going,
thing throughout
yeah,
the game.
as you're going along, it slowly starts to kind of go away until the very end, where it doesn't really
Well,
like
throughout the whole
come into play
prison,
as
like
much.
basement, whatever part, I was like, wait, what? I forgot about the blood mechanic for a while. Because in all the time we're doing that and trying to escape, I mean, sure, I guess for plot purposes and for where she's going, she doesn't need it. But even still, it just makes it feel like it was an idea to kind of be tossed aside after it was done, only to come back later. Not to say that they didn't care enough about the idea to fully implement it or anything like that, or that they abandoned it outright. Not saying really that, but like it was really weird because I guess it made you focus on other mechanics and other things because the entire like middle part of the game is about, with Grace is navigating through this super dark area, so it's about light and about taking these little plugs and putting them into generators that bring the lights on and stuff in certain areas and all of that. I don't know though, it felt a little weird to me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just need to have more time with the game since we're still playing on stream, stuff like that, to feel it out, feel the pacing out. But to me, the pacing felt a little weird in some spots.
I definitely felt it too.
Mom was saying that in a different way. It was more about the lore and the story and how it unfolded rather than the mechanics. So I'm tackling that issue from a gameplay perspective. She was tackling it from like a story perspective.
Yeah, and I see both. I see it in both perspectives because I do definitely notice certain things like that as well. Like I noticed it as we were playing, but I just never really called it out because I was too focused playing the game.
Yeah.
But I definitely noticed that there were some things here and there in both the gameplay and in the story that it felt a little off. It felt a little but and so like but most of that stuff is in like the last half of the game, so like I don't know if we're gonna already talk about that stuff yet, but
In a bit.
it was very not it was like it wasn't jarring, or it wasn't like a 180 whatever,
Yeah.
but it felt a little weird. Like it was something about the way everything flowed together didn't flow smoothly.
You know what it probably is? I think it's how you flip between Grace and Leon. So that was one thing they very, very much emphasized.
I guess so. I guess because they made it a unified story and not an A-B story, maybe.
I understand why they did it that way. Seeing as how the story goes and how their paths cross and keep crossing, until eventually it's the two of them together by the end, makes sense. I didn't mind that because again, you gotta remember too, this director did Revelations and 1 and 7. Those influences are in abundance here. Like, at the very least, with the pacing for flipping between characters like that, that is Revelations.
Yes.
Like, full stop. That is Revelations. Because if you think like RE6 or something, no. Those were 4 separate campaigns. You only play as Sherry and Jake in that campaign. You only play as Chris and Piers in their campaign. Etc. But like, here, you're flipping constantly between perspectives, which is what Revelations 1 and 2, for that matter, but 1 specifically, you're playing as like 5-6 different characters throughout the game. And every so often with each chapter that finishes, they flip you to someone else. And so I understood perfectly what they were going for, and I was even like, oh shit, that's cool. I didn't realize, because they even said Grace and Leon basically have the same amount of screen time. You flip between them constantly. And yes, those two things are true. What they kind of didn't say is that the amount they were talking, I think, about the equal amount of time total. Not when you're actually flipping between them, because when you play as Grace, you start everything, the game as Grace. Pretty lengthy segment until Leon comes into the fold. You only play as him there in his very first segment. In his very first segment, you play as him for like literally 5 minutes. Because it's just him outside on the city. Mm-hmm. And that little outbreak that's going on there caused by Gideon is happening, and so you have to deal with a couple zombies, and then he's done.
Yeah, it's
then it cuts to Grace.
Yeah, because that essentially serves as the Leon tutorial. Of like, this is what he does. This is what the Requiem does.
But then Grace has her whole segment, which was that initial demo that like influencers and YouTubers and whoever else played, journalists and what have you. We never got an actual proper demo for the game before the game came out. It would have been that segment though, probably, because that was the segment. That was the segment that they pushed a lot. Mm-hmm. That is a somewhat lengthy scene because it's now showing you a lot of the proper mechanics of going. You have to get a thing. Here's a fuse. Okay, oh, it's over here, but it's locked. You have to go find a tool. Go over here. So it's very, and Grace's very, very first segment checking out the hotel isn't exactly like that. It's just showing here's the spooky environment, blah blah blah. In her second, slightly bigger outing, it's all of that. And then Leon shows up again, and you play. You don't even play as him. First, he shows up and he meets Grace. Then Gideon gets a hold of him, and then you're still playing as Grace, and then it's the entire Rhodes Hill. Oh no, my bad. You do play as him one more time. That's when they introduce the chainsaw, and then he meets up with Grace. It's a very short segment. And then he gets caught by Gideon and you're Grace again. And then it's the entire Chronic Center area where you have to get the quartz bits. And then you meet Emily and everything we were saying about the chef and the big chunk guy. That's where all of that takes place. It feels like the RPD from RE2, which is cool. It's even kind of, in a way, like built like that. Designed that way. So it's very familiar, but, But again, like you have 2 short Leon segments and then 2 quite lengthy Grace bits, and then you play as Leon again for a little bit, and he's going through the care center, the rest of it, for a little while, because he has to get to Gideon's little secret office. And then you cut back to Grace, and then Grace is underground. So, like, there's a lot more Grace than Leon until Raccoon City. Then they flip it, and you're playing as Leon the majority of the way, because, again, it's Raccoon City. It's where the 30th anniversary stuff really starts to show, because it's all of that. And then Grace kind of falls not out of the story, but she falls kind of to the back, the way Leon kind of did in the beginning. So it's really weird. I get that there's like a switch there, where it's more Grace than Leon, then it's more Leon than Grace. But that makes it feel a little weird, pacing-wise. That might be why you feel that way. And why?
Because that is something that I definitely noticed when we were playing. Was that I noticed that was like, oh yeah, we're not really playing as Leon in the first half, and then suddenly in the second half, then it's like, okay, now it's all about Leon.
Now it's all about Leon
going through Raccoon City, and then there's like Grace here and there, and whatnot, and Leon going after her to save her and whatnot.
And again, not to get too into spoilers just yet, but you even end the game with Leon.
True.
So.
Yes.
Because then it feels more traditional Resident Evil at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not, and that's a little weird too. Now that I think about it, we'll talk about the characters a little bit now. With having Grace as the new protagonist, and she's the newest one since Ethan. I've been seeing some a bit of a divide with her. I really like her. I think she's cool. And again, she reminds me a lot of me because she's very introverted, and in the way that they captured that in her personality, there's the duality right there. There's those that like her and those that don't. Mom thought she was annoying. She thought that her constantly stuttering and this and that was getting on my mom's nerves, and I'm over here like, yeah. She probably didn't have to stutter a whole lot, but like I like the littler things, like when she reaches out for Alyssa, for her mom to come like hug her or do whatever, or like not really answering the phone with it being right next to her. Or, but the thing that I do like the most, it's a very somewhat subtle detail. My mom kept saying, mom kept saying it looked like she was blind, but I'm like, no, it's because it's not like it's weird mocap or anything. She doesn't look people in the eye, especially those that she doesn't know. Like Leon, it takes her a while before she can actually like just look at him when she talks or when he talks. Because whenever she talks to the cop before he turns at the very, very beginning, she looks her boss in the eye. A, because he's her boss, but B, like, I think from an introvert's perspective, she spent so much time with him, so she knows him, so she can look him in the eye. She's comfortable around him. But she didn't know that cop when she first went to go check out the hotel. So if you notice if you watch her interact with him, she does not like the way. Even think about any other thing you've watched with somebody who's an FBI agent. An FBI agent, they always go. They're like so and so FBI, and they'll show their badge very, very confidently, and they'll usually look whoever in the eye and show them the badge. Grace opens her thing up and kind of just like shares it with him. Like she's showing it. She doesn't show it upright to him. She kind of comes up to his side and kind of, while looking at the badge, not at him. It's little things like that I like because that's an introvert move. That's when you're trying to figure out how to talk to somebody. Sometimes it's hard. And so you find a way to kind of just get through the conversation. Mm-hmm. And so with her, she's kind of more so looking around and thinking about, oh my God, I'm back here. Why am I back here?
Like spacing out and stuff.
Well, sort of, but in the sense that that's more of what's on her mind than conversing with this cop in front of her, mm-hmm. the one letting her in. Mm-hmm. So it's just little things like that, I think, that are really cool. They really show that off. And like her, I think it's so funny that she stutters and can't find her words when talking to Emily, a little girl who can't even see her because she's blind. And she has a straight up stuttering moment where she just forgets her train of thought and goes, okay, sorry. And she tries to like find her words because she's not confident. And the thing is, she never really, what you can get from that lore wise or whatever with her is that she never really had to go out in the field before. Her desk job was her job. And doing her reports and stuff, that was her thing. And so now having to go out on the field and talk to all these people she doesn't know and this and that. And it's this super spooky fucking place that's all messed up. And it's the site of where she straight up witnessed her mom die. Like, she's not confident. And so that's why they built this and that. And this all has a purpose, me saying all this stuff. It comes down to how the game is designed. Because with Grace's segments, yes, it does feel like RE2 remake with the horror element of RE7. That is exactly how they described it. Mm-hmm. They described it.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way as you're going through those segments. Yeah. Especially in the beginning bit when you have to avoid the girl and stuff, and you have to be like in the dark and stuff for that.
Yeah.
Like, your only source of light is a lighter at
the
that
lighter.
Point. So it's like, you definitely feel that sense of dread as you're trying to like navigate and do all the stuff and to open the gate and whatnot.
And that's why they say too that like, Capcom's been saying that Requiem is a good starter, beginner. It's kind of beginner friendly, in the sense that like, as you grow to learn the mechanics, that's why you start out as Grace, and that's why Grace's segments are longer, because is what I'm starting to realize. It's because for those who are trying to break into the genre and stuff like that, maybe those who do get spooked a little easily, you're going to feel the same way she does as you go along. That's why she's a new protagonist and stuff like that.
I don't know if it's a thing from first person or third person perspective, but especially when you're in first person, that's why like you hear Grace like shudder and stuff like that
a lot more
because you could feel that she's scared.
And there's even certain moments where she trips when you're running away from.
When you're in third person, she'll fall and stuff like that.
Sometimes she'll just kind of stumble. Other times, yeah, she'll straight up fall. Mm-hmm. And it's meant to create that tension of like, fuck, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Like,
Yeah. I definitely felt like that. I was like, Grace, get the fuck up.
get the
fuck up, Grace.
But you never have to fully worry unless you literally idle there, because for stuff like that with like the girl in the care center, you'd have to literally just kind of wait there for her to actually catch up. Like, she's quick when she's chasing you, but she's arguably, I think they said this as such, I think she's a little faster in first person because you don't trip, because that will look too, they took out the tripping mechanic for first person as Grace because it'd be too jarring to like watch the camera go boom when she stutters.
Yeah.
But in third person, she's a bit slower, but you're tripping. And it's meant to just cause tension. You'll never actually get caught that way unless, again, you just do not know where you're going and you just kind of stay still in one spot somewhere or whatever. If she gets close enough to you, if you allow her to get close enough to you and then you try to run and then you stumble and you fall, you'll get grabbed then. But it's meant to cause tension. But also, too, because she's scared of their fucking mind. Like, it makes sense the way they did it. And they even, again, they teased Leon directly before they showed him off by saying, you know, oh, we thought about, you know, bringing back a main character from before as the protagonist here. But, like, you know, we were thinking about, like, Leon. And they even named dropped Leon. But they were like, but, you know, with all the stuff he's been through in the previous games, he's too hardened. So he's not going to really get so scared the way they want to, the vibe they wanted to create and how spooky they wanted to make this game, which they nailed, mind you. This is it is very reminiscent of 7 and its creep factor.
I'd say the first half is very reminiscent of 7 in terms of scariness. Sorry, you can see what you're saying.
No, I'm trying to remember. But fuck, see, you made me lose my train of thought.
I know,
Shit.
So sorry.
This is why I don't like getting interrupted.
I know, I'm so sorry.
So Leon, yeah. So they were like, yeah, Leon isn't, with the atmosphere they wanted to create, that's why Grace is here, and that's why she is the way she is. Whether you like her or not, that's why she is the way she is. Is to create that tension, is to really capture, here's the newbie, and then here's the seasoned veteran with Leon. And then as it turns out, when they revealed who he is in the game, it's like, okay, because we've modeled his stuff after RE4. So you get the melee. I mean, Grace has melee too, but that just really means she pushes them down. It helps when you're trying to get away or to get a leg up on them, on the zombies. But, like, Leon, like, he's kicking and he's doing it the way you know him to do. And then some with, like, the fucking chainsaw and all that stuff.
Leon is being extra as always.
Basically, yes. So he's not scared. It's just time is of the essence because he's been infected.
I especially love the cutscene in the chapel after you beat the, or is it after you beat him? No, it's before you do that segment, before fighting the big monster in there. I love the cutscene when he holds Emily, and then when he notices the zombies are coming in, he hands Emily to Grace, and then he just casually turns around and shoots the zombie that fucking is coming through the window.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, the slow turn and then him shooting twice and killing the zombie, just so casual like that, and he's still just talking normally.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny.
That's
so Leon.
It's those things, yeah.
It does show that he is that hardened from all the shit he's been through.
I think it's suffice it to say that they've never really messed up Leon. Because even with 2 remakes, they capture the rookiness of him being the newbie and him starting out. Not just as, first as a cop, but then also, like, again, having to deal with this kind of all the shit. And then by 4, it's already been 6 years. He's already kind of grizzled, but not too much, but still enough. Where he was wisecracking and he's just funny and shit now. And then by 6, he dials it back a little, but now he's just super extra for no reason. And then 4 remake, they captured that. 2 remake, they captured the rookie thing again. So by Requiem, yeah, he was just like, dude, I've been doing this for like over 20 years. Like, I already know the drill. And again, another subtle hint of, another subtle detail I like, he can handle the Requiem very well, both in cutscenes and in gameplay. Mind you, this is a Magnum. This is a very heavy gun with a lot of recoil. So he can handle it very well with the way he does it. And I saw too another detail from that details video I watched. If you play as Leon and you use the Requiem a little too much, there could be a chance he does have a bit of a hitch because even the recoil from using it too much is a little too much for even him sometimes. But point being, and then with Grace, like you shoot it the very very first time when he gives it to you, and she like completely almost stumbles backward because again the recoil is that much. But the cool detail about that and about the Magnum, the Requiem, is that when they first meet, and the thing's coming down, he gives her his gun, he gives her the Requiem. Again, it's a Magnum, it's heavy. He just one-handed, like, I think he flips it to, like, the barrel and just gives it to her, like that. And she grips it, and she has to take it in both hands, and she kind of, like, dips a little when she... So it's heavy for her. Mm. And Leon's just so, like, I'm doing this shit one-handed. Like, here you go, take it. Like, it's cool to see that he's handled so many more weapons than she has. And it's just that difference. It's in the most subtle of fucking animations and of mocap stuff they did. But it's really cool. Mm. And I like it a lot.
Yeah, I like the dynamic that they both kind of have, even if they don't really, like... even though they haven't really interacted too much, I would say, like...
Throughout the game, yeah, they don't interact a whole lot.
Like, they meet up here and there and stuff like that, but, like, it's not like they ever have, like, a heart-to-heart conversation with each other about like their experiences.
That is interesting. And you know what? I wonder if the story could have benefited just a little more for that.
I feel like
that because I
feel like it probably would have,
because I know within the context of the story, Leon again doesn't have much time. He's infected and it's spreading, so his whole deal is he's trying to find a cure, and all that. It just happens that it leads him into finding Grace and learning that she's into with Gideon's plan and all this stuff, that she's more intertwined in it than either of them really realize. But yeah, like he even had a heart to heart with Ashley. I don't remember if he really did so with Helena in 6. He doesn't really have much with Claire in 2. Maybe he does in the original, I'm not really sure. But that would have been cool. He talks to her sometimes, but they don't sit down and have like any kind of a conversation.
Like he's never said like Leon, as far as I can remember, Leon's never really said anything to Grace that's really made Grace like realize that she can be like
step up a little more.
She can step up a little bit more. And
but thankfully she does start to realize that the more she wants to help others, it's the same thing as I think too. Leon sees himself in her. The fact that at first she is incredibly scared, but in wanting to help Emily and wanting to help him, she has that innate sense of good in her, and so that's what Leon had, and that's as he tells Ada why he joined the force. He wanted to help people, and even he feels like a failure because he, we'll say the spoiler later, but he sees something that reminds him of someone he had an interaction with in 2, and he feels like he failed them. And so it's interesting to see how they deal with that stuff. I feel like it was written very well. Whether the pacing was however it was, or whatever you think of the pacing, the characters are still written very well, and they're acted very well. Her mocap voice actress, they whether it's one of the same or two different people, they need to they need to win something. Grace's fucking portrayal better be on for the Game Awards this year for like best voice acting. How they have like the best performance. She has to be there. Because she's really really good. One thing too about the pacing I was trying to mention and I forgot about it for a while there. Again, despite what you might think of how Grace and Leon flip, the locations are still somewhat follows the same structural formula of older Resident Evil games, which hasn't been a thing for a while if you're thinking chronologically. Because with 2 and 3, those tried to stay like OG 2 and 3 for the most part. 4 went a little more slightly open and also slightly linear because there's bigger environments, but it's all one big central location, but you're going through it somewhat linearly. Is that a word? Linearly? Whatever. But you can still even break RE4 down to like the village, the castle, the island. So it's still that 3 act structure, but literally from 2 and 3, where it's like, one location, sewer underground bit, and then some kind of umbrella lab. This falls down that because you have the chronic care center, you have the underground basement, whatever fucking prison with Grace and all that. Some other little bits in between and what have you, and then it's Ark, which is that newer umbrella facility.
I'd say like Raccoon City / Ark.
Yeah, which is it? Yeah, but still that is the end game, and that's so it's still that 3 act structure. Like I said, stuff in between. Like you go to you visit the orphanage. We'll get into that a little bit more. Things like that. So like there are bits in between, but those are the 3 big central locations. So they still got the pacing down on that front. They still have that structural formula intact from like the older Resident Evils. I should also throw 1 in there as well. I said 2 and 3, but even RE1 Remake, I don't know about the original because again, don't know much about it. Only played whatever little I played from it. But even RE1 Remake has the mansion, the what was after that? Not the sewers. What was it? Oh god, it was like the outside, like the courtyard area, and then into. Oh, it was the residence. That's what it was. The residence, because you're doing Plant 42 and all that. So it was the mansion, the residence, and then Umbrella. So it's still 3 act. You go to other places in between, and you return to the mansion at one point too. But it's the 3 act structure. So my point being is that they still kept that intact for Requiem, which was cool. I think that's kind of it for non-spoilery things. Do we want to get into spoilers right now, or is there anything else you want to say last minute about like general stuff, mechanics? Did we leave out anything? I don't think we did.
Not really, because
I like Mr. Raccoon. I like his little. He's so animated.
I like how they made him rubber hose.
Yeah, he's so animated. Seeing the new rubber hose look, I'm like, oh, that's cool because they showed that off before the game came out. But I didn't know he was gonna like fucking do a little jig. I was like, oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. He's dead. I have murdered the little Mr. Raccoon figurine.
No, yeah, I think that's about the general. That's it about the general stuff because my stuff is more so just like. I have to talk about spoilers in order to like really like try and understand things and and just fully try to explain like why I feel kind of weirdly about the story of Requiem and stuff like that.
Okay, then let's get into spoiler territory now. Warning! I'm going to have this cut up into little chapters. This is the spoiler section, so if you haven't played the game yet, and we gave a couple little light spoilers here and there, but if you haven't beaten the game, play the game, beat the game, stop listening now, come back to this segment once you beat the game. We'll give you some time to click away. 3, 2, 1. Leon fucking dies, dude! But not actually, but like, what the fuck? Okay. There you go. If we didn't scare you away now, if you don't regret not clicking away now, if you don't care about spoilers, then that's whatever. That's on you. But for those who thought we weren't going to start off with a banger, Capcom has balls.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were saying, and they were saying too, the descriptions of, Leon's role in all this, he'll be pushed to his limits. This is the most that'll, and this and that, and this is, it's do or die for him. And it's like, what are you gonna kill him? Is he gonna die?
Yeah.
And he kind of does.
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Okay. So if we're gonna start with that. That's where initially I thought this story was going to go. I thought that something was going to happen to where Leon would either sacrifice himself or something would happen that would cause Leon to die. And that's where I'm like, But would they do that though? Would they actually take the fan favorite of the OG characters of like the ones that people know? Are they going to take this one specific character that almost everyone likes and kill his ass off? And technically they did, but that's where it's like. But that's where I was like, I thought they were going to stick with that. I thought if that was going to be the case, I thought they were going to write the story around to where they would stick with that and have it be a resounding thing that happens, like a thing where like it sticks with you, like from then on. No, because the way the game ends is kind of like they do kind of I didn't say it when we were playing. They kind of do like a stellar blade situation where at the end they give you a choice. So the whole thing about the game, right, and the whole thing that the big mystery they set up for the whole game is what is Elpis, because it's always been it was in the trailers. They teased it a bit before, like a few times before the game release, and throughout the entire game it's referenced, but they never say what it is, or they never hint at what it is. So the whole time you're playing, you're thinking to yourself, what the fuck could Elpis be? And after you go through Arc, and you're going through as Leon, and you flip between him and Grace and stuff, and eventually culminates to a point where they kind of explain what Elpis is. Like they more so explain it in like a report thing after you beat the game, and but essentially it's like Elpis was an antivirus created by Spencer,
which they reveal. So to give a little bit more context, a little bit more meat. At one point in Arc, which Arc is this otherly like umbrella facility.
It was like a hidden umbrella facility that seemingly was like kind of like,
it's like Nest and all that, but it's a little different.
Yeah.
And so we have to infiltrate this part in the last third of the game, and it's when you flip back to Grace, because you go through the RPD and all that stuff with Leon, and you go through we'll get to that later too.
Yeah, you go through Raccoon City and you do all the stuff with Leon, and then
first off, there's a shitload of stuff you have to do before you get to the RPD. Then you get to the RPD. Then you meet back up with Grace, or you have to go and get her. So it becomes a whole thing where eventually you end up finding Arc, which is their facility. And so, as Grace, as you're helping Leon to navigate through all the stuff, because he's getting worse, she ends up finding all of this stuff on these screens, and there's a bunch of files, and there's a reader that can read. She picks up a disc from Alyssa way earlier at the beginning of the game in the hotel, and it finally, you actually forget that you have it because it doesn't show that you have it anywhere. It's kind of like, and I think that might even also be an RE1 reference, kind of, because it's like when you get, what's his name's, Cam. What was his name? I'm forgetting his name. But it's one of the STARS members.
Oh.
When you get his tape.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't get put in your inventory. It doesn't get put anywhere you can, like, see that you have it, I don't think. So you kind of forget you have it until the very end of the game, when you are in Umbrella and you can play it on like a VCR or something somewhere.
Yeah. I remember that.
It's kind of like that. You completely forget that you picked that up at the beginning of Requiem, Alyssa's little floppy disk. And when you get to Arc, Grace remembers that she has it, so she pops it in, and it's all of these files Alyssa had, and two of them are about her interviewing Spencer before the events of 5. So before his death is mainly what I'm trying to get at, obviously. So that way he can, kind of give more. He decided to do this interview for a couple different reasons. He wanted, he's on some Heihachi Mishima shit from fucking Tekken 7, where he's like, I'm just gonna fucking put everything out there, and I do have regrets. Which is weird because I never got that feeling from him. Again, I'm not sure how much more you see of Spencer before RE5. He might be there, I think, in Code Veronica. Code Veronica, again, is a big plot, driven game that sets up Wesker coming back and sets up stuff like that. Have not played it, so I don't know much about it, but I think Spencer might be in that one. I think so. Before So there's that. I think 5 is real where you really only is the only numbered title where you get to see him in any capacity, and Whisker kills him. So, point being, I never got that. And again, they probably didn't write him like that with the intention, oh, all the way down the line, we're going to bring Spencer back, and we're going to write him to where we reveal he has regrets. Because he was a very power-hungry, psychotic motherfucker. And
Well, yeah, he was this guy that had this god complex where like he
yes,
was trying to control like
it's like for humanity and this and that, and
yeah, like through like the virus and other
and
things.
Wesker had his own like world domination fucking agenda, so he kills Spencer outright. Again, that's all shown in 5. And so this interview that Alyssa conducts with him with Spencer takes place of course before 5 because he's still alive, and he's talking about on some Heihachi shit, like he has regrets, and I think that lucidity kind of opened up where he was like, oh fuck, I am now actually aware of the fact of Umbrella created all the shit from T to G to this and that and all of this shit that's happening in the world, and it basically started with me. And so as a type of it's kind of like a last minute resort. It's more so, again, it's how he describes it as his atonement. That Elpis, which he then, Alyssa actually confirms or reveals that Elpis is the name. It's the goddess of hope in Greek mythology. That's something I looked up once we saw that. I looked it up, and we could have just looked up what that meant when we first heard it. We could have just put Elpis and been like, goddess of hope. What the fuck? Like, but now we know why that is what that is. So Elpis was the goddess of hope in Greek mythology. They draw upon that, and so metaphorically, that's why Spencer names it that. It is, an antiviral. It's basically a vaccine for any type of, basically any of their viruses that got out there and caused these outbreaks. Elpis can cure it. Now, initially, we didn't really... The antiviral part, they still kept a little vague. When Grace learns this, they're still talking in very somewhat vague terms, just saying it's my hope, and it's this and that. And so Grace being the hope is because... Now, at first, I initially thought... Because in the second clip that she watches, still part of the interview, Spencer invites Alyssa over to gift a baby to her, but it's Grace. And initially I was like, hold up, are we doing some Star Wars Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine shit? Is Grace Ashcroft actually Grace Spencer? No, he says she was all alone in the world and he took her in, but she's not a test subject. With what we know about Resident Evil children, characters that are special and are talked about in such ways, something usually has happened to them. I mean, look at Ethan. He became all molded and stuff, and
he became a mold man.
and all that stuff. And like, Evelyn is all crazy. So like, everyone who's special and has this and that usually have something about them that makes them like, that actually makes them special. And they talk about Grace in the same way, and that's the mystery for the whole game. Well, what is it about her? It's not really much of anything from a physical standpoint. It's more so the moral standpoint of why she's so special. And because Spencer decided to not do anything to her, because we find out with the orphanage, because again, we revisit the orphanage, we even do a flashback to one of the girls who was a clone. It's Chloe, it's Emily, I even think it's Marie who turned into, as they just call her, the girl, the creepy fucking thing that stalks you for most of the game. I'm still a little confused on it. I think a lot of those clones were made, they kind of say to be sort of in Grace's image, but that's not really true. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around that part. I'm not sure if they're leaving it intentionally vague or if the answer's there and I'm just not understanding it.
Yeah, because that was the other thing that you
But Grace is normal.
That was the other thing that we were both kind of like thinking that it was going in was some live action Resident Evil movie thing with Alice, where like we thought that Grace was like a clone or something,
and Emily was like another attempt or something or other, or like because they want you to kind of think that. I mean, even
That's how it was kind of set up to be, but
even one of the characters says, "Oh, she wasn't. There is no connection between Grace and Emily after all." And we'll get to that character in a moment too.
Mm-hmm.
But who said that? But yeah, I mean, it was a wild, weird ride, and I feel like they're again setting that up for a sequel. If we're gonna get an RE10 and we still follow Grace, I wonder if who she is and truly where she came from will actually come into play. Because, again, I thought they set it up to where she was going to be a Spencer. I thought she was his granddaughter or something. But the way, again, his specific wording that he took her in, she was alone in the world. Well, what does that mean? So she is not Ashcroft by blood. But what does that make her? And not to say that she has some special latent thing like Rose does or something, but like that just means to me like I'm taking it to be like, well, is she from another family? Like, is she a Redfield? Is she fucking someone else? Like, is she a Wesker? Like, I don't fucking know. We barely found out about fucking what's her name, Alex Wesker in Revelations 2. He had a sister. Wesker had a sister. So I don't know. I think there's more to be explained and explored there, but it's very, very interesting. Point being, we got a little off topic, but that setup is necessary because with Spencer saying that Elpis was hope and it's his atonement, and her realizing that, going, oh, Elpis isn't a weapon, it's not meant for destruction. They give you a choice when you're set up to either destroy Elpis or release it. You're taught this entire time, and Mom was saying this too when we were all talking after we beat the game, that anything Umbrella makes from the rest of the franchise, you're just kind of taught to go, that's bad. It's bad. Even Leon's like, we have to destroy it. We have to destroy Elpis. And with what Grace finds out, and she's even trying to explain to Leon, saying Spencer never wanted to, like, he had regrets and this and that, and this isn't what we all thought it was. They give you a choice. Do you destroy Elpis or do you release it? If you destroy it, the new guy, what was his name? Zeno, and we'll talk about him in a minute, kills Leon.
Yeah, he straight
shoots him in the fucking head. Hank from Breaking Bad. Yeah. Just straight murders him.
His fucking head.
It's brutal.
All while going down with his body while everything around them is being destroyed and stuff.
Yeah, because they're on this big platform and...
Because Grace escapes. But
he helps Grace out and then stays behind to try and fight Zeno. Completely fucking fails because the virus is already really well into Leon's body. And yeah, he doesn't stand a chance.
I also thought for a second, also just side note,
yeah.
I also thought for a second that Leon would have like mutated at one point. We would have had to fight him or something.
I did think that too.
I kind of thought that would happen too. So, I was like, but would they do that? Would they do these things to this favorite character? And the death being the one where it's like, well, fucking, But
and two, I got spoiled because, of course, I'm looking at something else completely unrelated to Resident Evil, and then it goes, "Hey, you've been kind of watching some people play. Do you want to see VTubers and other streamers react to Leon's death?" And I was like, "What?
Fucking what?
You can't just say that. What the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? Is he dead for real?" And then here I am, tricking myself out, trying to be like, okay, no, like, so she's gonna like. He's gonna die, quote unquote, and then she's gonna save him. And Grace will save him, right? Like she's gonna cure him. And
I mean, if I saw that, that's what I would have thought. Because Leon's death. That's how I would have interpreted that. Because it's like
all I saw were those two words, and he was just kind of there. And I'm like, I have no context for this. What do you fucking mean? I didn't know there was a choice and there was gonna be two endings. I'm like,
I was expecting a choice either.
What do you fucking mean? I'm like, because I'm like, you can't. Why? What? But it's the bad ending. And
it is the bad
when
ending,
we did that, and I saw that, and I said, okay, well, at least I've got the context now. Yes, Leon has died right here because we decided to destroy Elpis. And then, the whole platform goes down. Grace makes it out alive. She's the only survivor. And a helicopter comes, and they save her, and it's all they make it well known that you fucked up because they make it so fucking sad because she looks back and she's like, I wish I could have helped you, Leon. And it's like, fuck, shut up. And then the credits roll. It's all fucking sad. There's like somber music playing. And I'm like, there wasn't even like a final boss or anything.
Yeah.
The game just kind of ended. I'm like, no, that can't be true, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know they were gonna give us the option. So then they give you the.
I skipped the credits because I was like,
Yes,
I don't
but
know
then
how long it's gonna be, and then I don't know.
But then they give you the fucking results screen. Like, I have to stick with that decision, don't I? We have to do a whole playthrough. Then it goes, hey, so like, you can reload the save now, and you can go back to like when Grace makes that choice. Do you want to do that? And I'm like, we were like, yeah.
Yes.
Like, what the? That was so unsatisfying. What the fuck, Capcom? And
oh my god.
so because it is
But
antiviral, that's how we find out.
Oh, dude, it was so funny. I was just like,
I didn't know what to think. I'm just like,
I was just so fucking surprised. I was like, I didn't think they would do it. Even though it's not like the canon ending or whatever, I didn't even think they were gonna do that. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Because you don't know your first time. Again and again, you're taught everything Umbrella makes is bad and evil and no good, and so you're like, okay, no, we have to destroy it.
Yeah.
And that's not the option. That's not the right option because it's an antiviral. We find that out through her explaining it. She chooses to release Elpis. Xeno's infected too, by the way. So and he's got like crazy weird powers. So he injects himself thinking, because you think he's gonna turn into this big thing and you're gonna fight him on that platform, and it cures him. And he can feel that he doesn't have his powers anymore. He's like, what the hell did you do to me? She's like, it's a cure. And so she hits Leon too. And then we do a traditional. Then Gideon comes back and he's a nemesis. Which I was like, what? So he's a version, you could say. Because again, it's also a little more precise to say he's a tyrant. Because all tyrants are these big, huge, gray, imposing motherfuckers. You had the tyrant, the unnamed one from the first game. You have Mr. X. You have Nemesis. And each one is more intelligent than the last. So I had no idea that Gideon was a nemesis, was a tyrant. But when he transforms, first he transforms because he loses an arm because you do whatever with Leon. With the motorcycle segment.
Yeah,
but like
you go through in the Raccoon City segment just for this little before you go to ARC or you go to RPD.
Yeah.
You encounter Gideon and you kind of fight him on the road and stuff like that, and then in the last little bit that you do, you shoot him off the road and stuff like that, and from a motorcycle exploding, he loses an arm.
Yeah.
So of course that's not gonna kill him.
But when he comes back, yeah, he gets this huge, crazy, gross arm. As a lot of these Resident Evil bosses have all this shit, tentacles and garbage sprouting out of them. So it becomes very typical RE in that sense.
Yeah, because him and Xeno, they have an argument about
what Elpis was and what Spencer's intentions were, stuff like that.
Yeah, Spencer and Elpis and stuff like that. And then after fucking Gideon decapitates
Xeno.
like that, and then you fight him after.
He was a fake out villain for the most part.
Pretty much, but I thought
we have theories and stuff, but
I thought they were gonna do more with him, and that's all I'll say. Before then,
yeah,
but yeah, and then it's at the very end you fight Gideon as Leon, and then after you shoot him a bunch, then he transforms to this big fucking thing
that attaches itself to the ceiling, and that's what Nemesis did in RE3 remake.
Yeah, that fight was very much reminiscent.
So at first,
Nemesis.
I thought to myself in my mind that was familiar. Then Leon goes, "Oh, that's why you're so damn resilient. You're a nemesis." And I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck?" Okay, so he really is a version of Nemesis. But that's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even think that at all, and that's.
But then when you got into the fight proper, when he's all mutated like that, I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, this is a Nemesis fight." It feels very similar to how you fight Final Nemesis in RE3 remake.
Yeah, because you have to shoot
the little pustules and shit, and it's almost the exact same. He comes down on you with a tentacle hand thing, just like Nemesis does to Jill. I was like, oh fuck, this is actually kind of cool.
I do like the cool part I will say about the end of that fight is the fact that Leon fucking annihilates him with the Requiem, not with an RPG most other in-boss fights go. you have
1
to,
through
where you have,
4,
like,
literally, you use an RPG.
yeah, it's either an RPG
Well,
or a
and-
big fuck off laser or some
Yeah,
shit
yeah, the
like
railgun
that.
in 3,
Some
yeah.
ultimate weapon. No,
Yeah.
Leon just shoots Gideon with a magnum.
Even in 7, they give you like an RPG or something to fight off Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
Village was the first one to not. You don't do anything like that to Miranda, and then this one's the second one to also.
Oh
break,
yeah, true. I forgot.
This is
about
the
that.
second one to
Yeah,
break that tradition. He just does it with his Magnum. But yeah, it's that's a more proper Resident Evil ending. Fucking Leon dying, and then just fucking the game just ends all sad. It's like, the fuck? Okay. Jesus. I just wish I wasn't spoiled on that, because I would have.
Yeah, I wasn't
I
spoiled.
would have had a
on
bigger
it.
reaction. I would have been like, oh, what the you can't do that. What the fuck?
I know. Like, thankfully, I wasn't spoiled or anything
Yeah.
at all. The only thing I had ever seen, like I said, the only thing I ever saw was like another like the videos of like people reacting to this. But thankfully, what I saw, they didn't name drop anything. They didn't show anything. All I saw was like a silhouette of like a person.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, people reacted to a familiar face or to this, this.
I just
or
saw
that.
those reaction videos like last night too.
So I
I
was
found
like,
the exact ones you saw.
yeah. So I'm thankful that whoever that was decided not. Like, I'm thankful,
spoil it fully.
yeah, to spoil it fully, and also like to just keep it a secret. Which
Yeah.
thank God, thank God that those ones were recommended to me and not anything else. Because the day before the game came out, of course, there was a fucking video. I don't know who it was. Prosofia or whoever the fuck, I don't know.
Don't just call
I
out
don't know.
Prosofia
I don't know.
Gamer.
I mean, I'm just saying, but I saw a video that was like Resident Evil Requiem, all bosses, and it's like the typical thing where it's like here's fucking
Yeah.
everything before the game officially like is out for
Yeah.
everyone, and it's
Yeah.
like because but like besides that, I didn't see anything else about the game, and so all my knowledge was about the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where like all the surprises and stuff came from. Where I was just like, "Oh fuck, Leon fucking dies in this ending." I was like, "Oh my god."
Okay, what are we talking about next? RPD or Xeno?
I want to talk about Xeno real quick.
Okay.
I have no idea what Xeno's deal is in this game.
We're gonna.
Like,
I'm sure we're gonna find out later.
also, people call him Timu Wesker because he essentially looks like Wesker.
So okay, so here's what happened. Again, thankfully I was not spoiled by him. So all of us reacted to him completely blind. Yeah, so Gideon gets a hold of Grace and is like, tries to approach her a little more friendly, a little more with, not so forcefully to have her come with him. And he says something along the lines of like, oh, you're right where you need to be. Like, you seem lost, but don't worry. And he opens the garage door, and there's a fucking figure standing there silhouetted because, the sun is hitting him. And then they close up on him, and I'm like, is that fucking Wesker? Because there he is, slit back fucking hair, and the suit, and, like, the shades. Same kind of body structure. I'm like,
yeah.
I found out, too, it's the same voice actor from RE4 Remake.
Oh really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Same voice actor as Wesker, and I'm like, oh my god, how did you come back? What do you mean? You blew up in a fucking volcano. What do you mean? You were hit with 2 RPGs. That's what it took to kill your ass.
2 RPGs in lava.
It's like, what do you mean? And so because Gideon name drops the name Xeno a little earlier
Yeah.
in the story, and I'm like,
I didn't know. I actually didn't catch that. I didn't catch that he said Xeno's name before. It wasn't until I rewatched when I was watching Ray that I got to that 7. He says it. And I was like, oh, he just name dropped Xeno.
yeah.
right
So
there.
because I didn't know what that meant, and then when they said his name again, I'm like, oh, so that's Xeno. I'm like, okay, why the fuck does he look like Wesker? And then at one point when Leon sees him, he tries to shoot him, and it goes boom, 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 the way Wesker does it. I'm like, oh my god.
He fucking
his
Neo's like Neo dodges 2
Yeah.
bullets for that when Leon
He like
shoots him.
speeds out of the way, and then he's
And
got the
that's a
glowing the eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, it's Wesker.
The
It's
thing,
Wesker.
The thing I noticed about him was his glowing yellow eyes. So I was like, that's a Wesker thing right there. Like
Yeah.
if his general appearance
Was not enough.
Was not enough. It was the eyes that I saw. I was like,
And the moves.
and the moves. It's like,
I'm like, that's some Ouroboros shit. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Exactly.
What is this?
That's some Wesker shit.
And
so when I saw that when I did see that title of a familiar face, I was thinking, did they bring back Wesker at some like is it Wesker or is it some other character?
Knowing for me, knowing Raccoon City was in this, knowing the RPD was in this, knowing that it's a lot of the familiar back to basics stuff that we're revisiting, before the game came out, I had my suspicions. I'm like, are we going to see something from Spencer? Is Spencer going to come back somehow? Is Wesker going to come back somehow? Only because, again, it's Resident Evil. It's some hyper crazy Japanese series where a motherfucker will not stay dead, even if they look very much dead. Looking at you, Heihachi. Like, they will not sacrifice their characters if they feel they don't really need to. If there's a way they can get you and a way they can do it, they will fucking do it. And
yeah, I thought they were gonna,
to their credit,
I was just gonna say I thought that with Xeno, I thought they were gonna do a reveal where it's like, oh, he's like a Wesker clone or something, or like he somehow is Wesker.
That is the prevailing theory even still.
Like they use a Wesker clone of sorts?
It seems very fucking like that's where they're heading towards. Because Gideon even has one very quick, as they're insulting each other and shit, he even says, "You're just an imitation." And he shouts that at him, and I'm like, and that's all he gets to say. So it's like they're giving us a little bit, but and then you even thought this guy was like from another game, like from Outbreak or something.
I thought and so
it took me looking it up to go, no, this dude is new to this game.
Yeah, so before you told me that, I was thinking if he's not Wesker, if they didn't reveal him to be Wesker or be Wesker related or whatever, I thought that like, oh, familiar face, maybe this is a character from Outbreak or
that Alyssa would have known or something.
Or just that other people, other fans would have recognized.
Yeah.
But no, he was completely original to this game, so it's like,
so we still don't fully know his shtick. And then he gets, now the thing is, he merely gets decapitated. Mm-hmm. It looks like he's dead.
They don't show him again after that.
No, they don't.
So yeah, your assumption is that he died,
which leads into the post-credit scene, where two uniformed dudes come up and are talking to someone on their comms, and the perspective as they're going for the final shot of the game with these two dudes in the post-credit scene, the final shot is kind of quote unquote viewed from kind of a top down because they're reaching for something. And then it cuts, and that's the end of the game. Are they going after Xeno? Are they going to revive him? Is he in fact a clone? Does he have something to do with Wesker? Because you don't just bring out a motherfucker, you don't introduce a motherfucker that looks, sounds, because it's the same fucking voice actor, and behaves so much like arguably, the first Resident Evil villain.
And a beloved one at that.
And then kill that dude off. They are going to do, and this is what I said as we're doing all this and as we were seeing him, I was like, are they going to do some Megatron, Galvatron ass shit where this is the successor? This is going to be Wesker 2.0. Because again, you don't just have Ouroboros styled fucking moves. You don't just kneel all over the place the way he did, and then not do anything with that. So like, what the fuck do you mean? And we'll talk about the setup for future games in just a minute, but like, for him, his goal for everything here isn't even fully clear. Like, he's with the connections.
Like Xeno's goal is very, like, when you know what it is, it's very simple. He like most other people, assumed that Elpis was a bioweapon, and he wanted Grace to get to Elpis so that way he could use it as a means to destroy the world or whatever. But and again, that's before you choose to release Elpis and you find out that it's an antiviral. Other than that, Xeno's just kind of one-dimensional in that sense.
Well,
Or
'cause
like,
he definitely feels like setup, and he comes in so late into the
Yeah.
game that like
he sets up things to kind of like reveal more stuff about like Grace and certain other things, but for himself as a character and being in the world and stuff,
he's super mysterious.
yeah, he's very like vague and stuff.
Yeah. Again, I feel like he's going to be set up. I think he was planted specifically because, again, for this being an anniversary game, for this revisiting a lot of the old stuff as far as in universe with the characters going back to Raccoon City, things like that. So not only is it a trip for like the long time fans, like the actual like long time fans, not only is it for fans like us who just became fans, but we did go through all the games. So we do. If this podcast wasn't proof enough, yeah, we are picking out all kinds of references and all kinds of like nods and what have you. It's kind of like, okay, now that we're ending kind of the Raccoon City saga, where are we going to go from here? Because again, it almost felt like with Ethan we were going to do like a where do we go from here? Because with Chris's deal in Village, they find out, hey, the BSAA sent in a bioweapon as someone...
Disguised as a man, as a soldier.
Yeah, and they were like, what? And that hasn't been addressed yet.
Yeah.
At the end of this game, after the boss fight with Gideon, it looks like Leon and Grace are just kind of there, just left to die, because the place isn't necessarily coming down around them, but it's just, it's losing power, they're drenched in darkness, they can only just kind of wait, because it feels and seems like no one's going to know where they are, no one's coming for them, they're so far down into this dilapidated that no one's going to find them. He's still trying to recover, she's basically knocked out almost, she was for a while, then she comes to, they're not really strong enough to be able to find a way out, so they just kind of feel like it's the end. Bam! Floodlights come in, the BSAA comes to break them out and to help them, and there's a passing comment. Wait, so where is Chris? Like, what's he doing? I'm over here like, he's in Europe! He's in Europe! We haven't resolved that part yet! That was Village! This is all set up! So I feel like...
And even Leon is like, oh, maybe we'll see him again at some point.
Yeah,
so
I need them to do what they did in Death fucking Island. I need them to bring everyone... I thought Requiem was going to kind of do that, even with knowing that Jill wasn't going to be like a main protagonist in this game. I was still hoping maybe we'll see her. Maybe she'll... Even if she's like a character who helps out, you don't get to play as her, but you can like interact with her as an NPC or something, and she walks along with you and helps do shit or whatever. But that would have been so sick, because again, still, she and Leon in the games have not met yet. She hasn't met. They haven't met. And one of the things you can find in the Star's office in Requiem is her beret.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I was like, that's so fucking sick. But this marks the second thing Leon's found of Jill's. They have not met yet. It's almost like I'm not sure if this is intentional. It just feels like they're teasing that eventually, like, these two need to meet. I said it in the previous podcast. I was like, the two most, like, snarkiest, like, well-beloved protagonists from early Resident Evil, and they have not met. Like, can you imagine their banter and their, like, their stories, their battle wounds, their scars, the fact of how... with Jill's whole fucking thing being controlled by Wesker and all that stuff, and everything she had to deal with in Revelations, Leon's stuff he's had to deal with the Plagas and everything else. Can you imagine just how they would be able to work off each other and how they would interact? And like they do in the movies, or at least again in Death Island they do. It was super sick to see like fucking Chris and Leon and Jill and Rebecca, and like it was so cool to see them all. And Claire, I think Claire was there too, right? I think. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But, like, basically everyone... I remember even before I got into the series, before binging, I even asked Miharu, I was like, you know more about Resident Evil than I do, even if it's not, like, a whole lot. But, like, I'm like... I'm noticing that, like, certain games are passing off to certain characters. Jill's in 1, 3, and 5. Leon's in 2, 4, 6. Now this one. Chris is in like 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, and he's actually made the most appearances as far as the like early cast goes. But I'm like, was there ever, or is there ever, or will there ever be a project or some kind of game or movie, whatever, where like they all come together? Because that would be so sick. And yeah, Death Island kind of does do that. And now I'm waiting for that to happen in the games. Like, I want to see Barry come back, and he's made up the good ending to Revelations 2 is he makes up with Moira, and Claire makes it out alive, so everyone's fine. And, like, for them three to meet back up with Chris, because Chris and Claire, I mean, they do meet up in Code Veronica, but then they just kind of, I'm led to believe they go their separate ways again, because Chris is off doing BSAA shit, and then Claire is doing TerraSave shit. So, like, I don't know. But to have them all come together, at the very least, some of the earlier ones, characters like Jill and Leon, would be cool to see interact, play as the both of them, whatever the case may be. But but then too, with the way they wrote Grace and how Grace is in this game, I'm one who very much likes her, and so I would love to see her come back, and I think they will bring her back because the reception to her, has been actually, I think, a lot better for however you feel about Ethan Winters. A lot of people have said, whether it's jokingly or very like they mean it, that like he's not the strongest protagonist. And the weird choice to make him the faceless protagonist, he's the only one like that. The faceless protagonist, like, okay, like, we're not doing anything. Why? Even when you look at the model and you look at his face, he just looks like a normal dude. Why are we making him...
Yeah, like, the closest you ever get to see Ethan's face is in the...
like Shadows of Rose.
Yeah, Shadows of Rose DLC.
Yeah.
Because, like...
You get real close. He, like, turns kind of to the side. And
even then, like, you at least get enough of, like, his features to where, like, you can just kind of picture what he generally looks like.
If you don't, like, look up what he looks like, because they'll show you.
And that's also if you don't really see his model in the ending of Village, and
if you in the camera hack or whatever, the ending, and you look, and they just reuse that model. Whatever that ending even meant, I don't know, but we'll talk more about all that stuff in a minute too. Is there anything more about Xeno you want to talk about? That's kind of it.
That's basically it. Like, what else is there to talk about
with him? Exactly. He's very mysterious, and I don't think he's dead.
Yeah, and also he shows up in the last half of the game, and he's there for last half of the game.
Yeah, so you don't just do that and then not elaborate. Yeah. So I feel he's going to come back somehow.
Yeah, they're going to find something.
I was going to say to their credit, Spencer actually is dead. Because again, this being his atonement, this being him having regrets, was very interesting. It's a weird move, but it's interesting that
because it also feels like they treated some of the stuff as like Umbrella's legacy.
Yeah,
of sorts.
Yeah.
I think there's even a trophy or something named after that, or
something like that. Yeah.
Something somewhere in Requiem. I forget where specifically, but they say like Umbrella's legacy or something like that.
And so because of having Xeno now, it seems like Wesker too. It seems like he's dead. I don't know how you take 2 RPGs to the fucking chest and you're drowning in lava and then you survive that. Whether you're a mutant or not, I don't fucking care. I think Wesker himself is actually dead. But we find out he has family. I mean, at the very least, she's dead too, but there is Alex, a previously unfucking known sister. So this dude, I think, has to be some kind of a clone. He has to be. With all this clone talk and with Emily and Chloe and like Marie and stuff, and thinking that Grace was like kind of the start of that, and that proved to not be true. But with clone talk, the fact that clones aren't much of a fucking... It's not even like this is the first game to touch on clones. Far, far from it.
I mean, look at 6, but...
Yeah, for sure. But like, I think that's like Wesker 2.0. I think it's some Galvatron shit. I think
you can't just have Gideon offhandedly call him an imitation and not elaborate on it.
Yeah.
One does not simply not elaborate on imitation talk.
The RPD is sick. They play the music straight from OG RE2. I caught on immediately. I was like, oh, that's fucking sick.
Yeah, it was very fun.
It's done in a modern track. It's not like, I think if you put the music effect to the OG, to like a more classic RE styled soundtrack, I think it will play the original.
Yeah.
But as far as when we were just running through and we had all of our sound on modern, they brought that like track back.
redid that theme,
It was
so.
it's really cool, and even really quick too, before we get into that fully, even the a lot of the music, someone fucking, like I said before, someone critiqued the music. It was a comment, a YouTube comment, so it doesn't mean much. It's just their opinion. But it's like, how do you say a soundtrack like that doesn't sound good when it's like super fucking like everything matches? For Grace's segments, the battle music is really creepy, and like with Leon, it sounds a little bit more kind of, we said, kind of dubsteppy almost, not really, but like it has these dark wubs that just feel right for Leon. So a lot of those tracks work just fine, and then there are tracks like the Safe Room theme for this game. I remember hearing it and I was like, this sounds so familiar. Did they just rip Sevens? Because again, Seven was a huge inspiration in a lot of areas. Same director again, so they wear those inspirations. This game wears those inspirations specifically, proudly on its sleeve. So I'm like, is this just a remix of Seven's Safe Room theme? And like, it kind of is. It's a mix of like 2, I think 4, and 7.
I was getting major RE1 vibes. From the music.
That's interesting because I know
it has its
RE1 Safe Room. That's my favorite Safe Room theme.
I know, but that's what it evoked in me. It's more so just like that's where I was kind of like, oh, it sounds like RE1 remake Safe Room theme.
But so it's stuff like that again reminds you.
It had that ethereal kind of like feel to like the music.
Again, it kind of reminds you of like, it's taking the best bits again, and they did it in. If they did it in other places in the game, I didn't really catch it. And they're like very, very subtle modern remixes of older tracks, but it took me a while, and I know it plays somewhere in RE2 remake as well. I don't know exactly remember where, but they did also remix it there too, since it's a straight remake. But for this game being the remembrance, the legacy of stuff, they did what. Okay, you know what? It's very comparable to. I forget the name of it because I haven't played it in a while, but it's like, what was the name of the place? I forget what it was called. In Doom Eternal, when they start playing that theme with the guitar.
Oh.
And that's the transitional music from the very first Doom.
Yeah. Oh,
it's a modern, very somber take on it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember and I can't.
It's the beginning of the game. You remember where I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like the second level of the game, or so. It's that very like normally I would remember the name. I just haven't played Doom in a while, so.
Yeah.
But it reminded me of that. Running through as Leon in the dilapidated, fucked up RPD in Requiem, and then the OG RE2 music starts playing. I was like, oh yeah, like people who like actually. Who are longtime fans are gonna fucking like cry nostalgic tears.
Oh yeah, they're gonna cry over that.
Because that shit's awesome. That's awesome.
Looking at all the previous like stuff in the RPD and stuff, it was like a trip because I was like, we were like, oh, I remember this room,
because again, that room. Yeah, and that's the funny. Okay, the funny fucking thing at the same time, RE2 remake isn't even 10 years old. It'll be soon. But it's not even a full decade old yet. So those of us like me who never played OG RE2 and I'm not a long time fan because I didn't play when I was a kid and all that stuff. But for those of us who've played RE2 remake, whether it was right when it came out, a little after, for me it was literally a year ago. I played it so much because I really, really liked it. And as far as modern Resident Evil having the old formula, as far as that goes, and revamping it and modernizing it. There's a reason why people say that RE2 Remake is among the best video game remakes, period. As far as remaking a video game goes, and branding it as a remake, people think RE2 did it so fucking well. It is among the best. You have like FF7 remake, you have like this and that remake, but like RE2 is like up there, and it's for a reason, because it's so fucking good. So whether... And again, for someone like me who doesn't even like horror games, or at least originally got too spooked by the horror genre, and am now starting to kind of break into it, and RE2 really showed me, like, it's the classic formula, but it's modern. and in how they fucking designed it, how they did it, whatever. Some wizardry happened along the way, and it's a fucking good game. And I'm only familiar with it. I've only been familiar with it for like a year, but I've played it so many times because I played it for Leon A, Claire B, Claire A, Leon B, and then I watched you play it, and then we're doing it on VidGames now, and so like I've played it so many times at this point that like
stream on it.
yeah, so like yeah, I streamed it recently, so the RPD specifically, since it's the first, whether you're Leon or Claire, the first big area is the RPD. So I know this modern take on the RPD with the remake. I know that structure very well, and I like being in that environment. I like that location, and so even for someone like me that doesn't have that much experience with the series, but still loves it and appreciates it, it still hit. Like running through in Requiem, it's like, oh fuck, there's this. Here's the fucking banner. Here's like, and so
even some of the same letters and stuff from RE2 remake and stuff.
Yeah,
there
some of the same letters. A lot of the same rooms. I'm like, how do we get to like such and such place? Oh, I know. You have to cut through here, and then you can't because it's all fucked up and it's blocked off, and it's like, oh shit, I have to think about how to. And then other rooms that weren't connected before are open because there's big, large chunks of wall missing, and so you can actually take shortcuts you couldn't before, and it's so cool. And the Krauser thing that we missed was that little paper that said you can't save everyone. Or you can't save anyone, or so. That's the quote from him. In remake. Yeah. So that was a Krauser reference. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
It's so sick. It's so fucking cool. Mr. X is back.
That was a fucking trip. I was like,
I was like, oh fuck. Even his final kind of like fight outside is still reminiscent kind of the final fight with him in RE2 Remake. Because he has the fucking hand and you have to shoot him in the chest with the hand, the arm, and he's throwing shit at you. Like, it's very similar in a way.
It's very much just like shoot him in the chest, but it's very difficult because he moves around a lot and he like you have to parry him sometimes, and like even doing the parry with Leon is like kind of difficult because it feels like you only have like a small window to do that.
Yeah, but it was cool seeing again taking something familiar and from the actual classic kind of lineup, and then injecting some of the more modern stuff into it, having to even parry him at all, which wasn't even introduced until fucking 4 Remake, stuff like that. Like, it was really cool to see it all kind of come together and work in a new and different way, even if it's the same enemy.
Yeah.
It wasn't the exact same Mr. X, but if you remember RE3 Remake, there were a bunch of Mr. X's, a bunch of tyrants. So this was a different one. But he behaved the same.
Yeah, he still had that coat. It was really funny when you run away from him and you see him fucking power walk at you.
Yeah, he's like, a little faster too. Yeah, it's like, oh fuck.
It was like still the same fucking.
Yeah, you hear the for the footsteps. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
He attacks you with the same helicopter. Remember when he? The original Mr. X in 2 Remake picks up the helicopter and moves out of the way. That helicopter is still in the goddamn building because this Mr. X takes the tail, which is all busted and nasty from the end, and starts trying to like skewer you with it, and like he's crushing walls with it. And it's like, oh my god, what the fuck? So cool.
Yeah, it was really
that was
cool.
Super sick. And then again, the orphanage and stuff, and you still haven't played Claire's playthrough at all, which you need to. And you're going to recognize some of those rooms in the orphanage, specifically from Chloe's segment. Because I was like, oh, crap. Like, here's the room that Sherry was in. Here's where Chief Irons shows up. Here's where you hide from him. I was like, oh, God. Like, again, Chief Irons' whole deal. What makes him so creepy is he's not infected. He's not in it for... He's not even... He has nothing to do with the virus and Umbrella. He has nothing to do with that. He's just some creep. Like, serial killer. Taxidermy guy who fucking literally gets off on that shit. He's nasty. He's a foul fucking individual. That's why I talk about him with such like disdain. Because it's like, fuck that guy. Um, but it was still cool to be there. Like, oh fuck, like going back. Oh, okay. So going back to Kendo's.
Oh
Oh,
my god. Yeah.
oh, can't even get through talking about it without tearing up. We'll sure as hell try. Um, because again, I still never played or saw even the little like mode you can do with Kendo from 2 remake. I'm still not sure if it really further contextualizes him and Emma, his daughter. Uh, but like I said when I streamed RE2 remake on Destination Mark, I'm like, all you need to know is what you see in that cutscene when it's him and Leon and Ada. Um, and his daughter's there. She's like half infected. She's in the process of turning. And it's meant to be this very, very emotional, like, very realistic in the sense of like, okay, cut the shooting the guys and being cool. This is what it's doing to just
People.
civilians. Yeah. And so then he cocks the gun and shoots, but the door's closed, so you don't. It's my little headcanon, my little theory that like, who did he shoot? Did he actually shoot his daughter and end her suffering before she fully turned? Or did he off himself because he just couldn't bring himself to do it? And then she went off to go do whatever and we never really see her again. But he couldn't, maybe she eats him or something and then goes on. Or whatever, maybe he even turned into a zombie at some point. I don't really know. That was what I was kind of thinking at first. Because I liked the ambiguity. Requiem kind of answered it. Because the moment we went into Kendo's, and I was like, fuck. Then you go into the room, because they frame it to where you see the fucking door, and I'm like, fuck. Because in 3, remake as well, he doesn't tell Jill, which is really sad, because you can tell they have like a friendship. Kendo has no idea who the fuck Leon is, but he knew Jill. And so, Jill offers him a way out, and he's like all panicked, and he's like, and because again 3 is more of a prequel sequel, it's before she's like, I'm assuming it's before Emma like is truly turning, and he still has a bit of hope. He's just trying to figure out what to do. So he declines her help, but helps her out by giving her the key to go out to whatever. And if you go up to the door as Jill, you can kind of hear a little bit of a conversation with him and Emma, sort of. But that's retroactively knowing how he acts towards Leon and all of that in 2. So that's how 2 and 3 kind of work in tandem, and it's kind of cool to see that. Fucking Requiem, so then you go over, and then you're able to open the door once that cutscene started. I was like, oh, fuck. We're gonna see what's in this goddamn room. And I touched on this already, so this is the spoiler part of it. That, yeah, even Leon feels, still, it's the, as much as he wants to save it, and they even play that, what I was like, they're gonna flash back, I'm gonna fucking hate it, and they flashed back, and I was like, fuck, where you see little babyface Leon, and the weird part, and we'll get into Ada later, is that they don't show Ada, even in the flashback. Ada's not in this game at all, but, so they might mainly focus on Kendo. I think you see Leon there, but they mainly focus on Kendo in that flashback. But that is a very prominent quote from Leon. This is why I joined the Force, to help people like them. And I want to say they show that bit specifically of him saying that. Because it cuts back, there's a fucking skeleton on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it looks small, doesn't it? So I think he really did shoot Emma.
I think so. I have to look at
wherever
that again.
he went, I don't know.
I have to look at that again because I actually couldn't really tell if it was a big or small skeleton. But from what I can remember,
It looked small.
It looked small, so I think he did shoot Emma.
Yeah, and so he's looking at this, and he's just like, I'm sorry. Because, and then it goes never again, because he couldn't save them. So it was a really sick moment, and it was just like, fuck, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't think we were going to get a conclusion to that. And then, okay, so the gun you get, I was like, oh my god. Because you pick up a shotgun in that fucking room, and I was like, is that the shotgun he used? Is that the shotgun Kendo used? And we get to...
yeah, that's right.
No, I read about it later, and I think it's actually Leon's old shotgun he used in 2 Remake.
Oh, really?
However it got there, I don't fucking know, but that's what I read.
Mm.
I think it'd be better if it was Kendo's actual shotgun.
Mm.
But whatever. That whole bit, though, I was just like, fuck. Because I'm not sure how they... Kendo has a moment in OG2, I don't know about 3, but, like, as well. I'm not sure for how PS1 it is, how, like, much the emotion actually came across. They probably did some similar beats and what have you. But the way they did it in 2 Remake is just so fucking good. And then seeing him in 3 was like, oh, fuck, because you remember 2, even though 3 takes place a little before 2. And then to get the conclusion here, it's like, oh my god.
Mm. Yeah, because in the beginning of the Raccoon City bit, or even just the knowledge of that you go back to Raccoon City as Leon, it was like, oh, how many old locations are you actually going to visit before going to continue on to do whatever? And
There were still some I recognized too, like
I think in the beginning bit of like as you're going like as Leon's going to Raccoon City, you pass by the gas station he stops at in 2,
yeah,
and then like
Ms. Oil, yeah.
yeah, there's the sign and whatnot, or the welcome sign, and then like you see the whole fucking destroyed city and whatnot, and yeah,
I thought because of how you when you first go into Raccoon City in that segment, it starts the final third of the game. I was under the impression we would see a lot more references in the sense of like because you're wandering around this wasteland of a city, and you have to do a bunch of other shit before you actually get to the RPD. And I wasn't exactly sure where we were in the sense of where in Raccoon City we were. Because I'm thinking RE3 remake. I'm like, oh, are we gonna do some 3 stuff first before we get into 2? That's kind of I kept telling you every so often because Vic was playing. I was telling you every so often. I'm like, look at the buildings, look out in the distance. I want to see if I can recognize any of like the advertisements or at the toy toy shop, where Nemesis sends that big bobblehead thing after you. Any place like that, like, are there any of those places around here?
yeah, because Raccoon City is the only map in Requiem where when you fully zoom it out, it gives you a full scale like this is the entire city and whatnot, including the crater in the center and whatnot. Everywhere else you zoom it out and it just shows you the layout of like wherever you're at. But in Raccoon City, as you're going around, that's the only location in the game that you fully zoom out the map and it shows you the entire place.
Yeah. There are a couple other bits, I think, buildings we missed that are there from the original. What was it? The one that references, what's her name? Sakura or something from Street Fighter? Not from Street Fighter, she's from, what was it? That
Oh, yeah.
the school one or whatever, I forget. I'm forgetting my Capcom lore. But the one that's her name backwards?
Oh, yeah.
It's like a Suka or whatever.
Something like that.
That building's still there. We missed it, but that building's still there. That was in 2 Remake, and it's in the OG RE2. So little places, mainly from 2, are there. But oh yeah, we got to go back to the parking lot. I was like, oh, the truck that Ada drove into Mr. X is still there. That was really cool.
Yeah, there was the door that led to where the dogs were and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
where the kennel and like the shooting range and all that were, yeah. So again, just a trip to fucking see those places again.
Yeah, but just all decayed and ruined and stuff like that. It was very it was like, oh my god.
But yeah, I think we basically hit up. Those are the biggest spoilers. Again, Grace is to recap. Grace isn't special in the physical sense. She's not some kind of like weapon. She's not some kind of.
She's
not a Spencer either, though. But she's also not an Ashcroft by blood. So like, who is she?
Yeah. So in terms of like the game itself, that's pretty much it. The only other lore stuff they give in the game is through a thing you unlock after beating the game.
It's like Grace's report.
Called Grace's Report, where it's like her thing about about
It's a summary of everything.
yeah, a summary about Umbrella as a company, and then everything else that surrounded the company as well.
Yeah.
Because and what you learn about that is that essentially Umbrella was kind of innocent, kind of, because like you learn
They
through
weren't
that,
out
that
to start all the global things that happened around. So yeah, so to talk on that real quick, they recontextualize, and I was telling you about this too. This is a very risky thing to do. Again, look at how Tekken's been doing it. Tekken is actually going to probably come up a couple times like this, where your ticket. I mean, I think Resident Evil might be with Tekken as like one of the longest standing video game storylines to have kept going for all this time. Tekken got to it first, but if it wasn't for Tekken, Resident Evil would have had it. Because even if 5 and 6 got word and we weren't even in Raccoon City anymore, the lingering Raccoon City, the incident, and Umbrella, even down to some things like Wesker, still kind of persist in some way, shape, or form. Whether a new family member is revealed, whether it's resurrecting their old plans, I will carry the torch and do the blah blah blah. That's even said in this game. Gideon says it. He will carry Spencer's torch. Things like that. Even before this game, were still persisting. In 6, again, they say, oh, it's been 12 years since the Raccoon City incident. They'll keep saying, Leon will definitely, whenever he can, remind new characters he's met that he's from Raccoon City, he's a survivor of the Raccoon City incident, stuff like that. So they keep it in the back of your head that that's where everything started. That's why Requiem here is, we're going back to where it started. And then how Vic's about to say too, with what Grace's report, shows, and what we've come to learn, especially by the last third of the game, is that what Capcom has now tried to do is they are recontextualizing this long-standing storyline with this new entry, all the things they have written and come up with and conceptualized for this game. They are now trying to go back and fill in some holes, fill in some gaps. And now they're kind of reframing Umbrella as something that, yes, started a bunch of shit, but it was not them that got it to the political, otherly, very worldwide way that all these outbreaks and these viruses have been happening. It was the connections. So, continue.
So essentially, the thing that the only thing you get about the connections in the game, like whether it like,
mind you, they were introduced in but barely touched upon in 7.
Yes, yeah.
Mind you, that's where we are right now with the connections.
Yeah.
Until this game.
Yeah, and then with this one, they still don't give a whole lot about it. They're like, oh, much about the connections still remains unknown. But what they tried to do but in Grace's report, when she's talking about Umbrella as a company and stuff, and try to explain all the outbreaks and why all that stuff even happened to begin with and how it got to that point, they're like, we believe that the connections are the ones that are doing that. Did you sneeze?
Yep.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so what they then did is that they wrote it to where the connections somehow, some way were controlling things within Umbrella, and when things got out of hand, they try to pin the blame on everything on Spencer and Umbrella. And the connections were banking on Umbrella going under to where they could acquire it and acquire assets from them.
Particularly for this game, Elpis.
Yes, and when it came to that, also, I also just like as a side note, I love that they just fully acknowledge 6, just like they fully kind of just embrace that. Like, yeah, things in 6 were there.
I mean, it's canon. They have to acknowledge it somehow. You can't ignore it.
Yeah, because there's a little quote thingy about Spencer with Elpis as he's making, I guess it's like as he was finishing Elpis and stuff, where like he name drops the company is like Tricell HCF,
something like
that. The family from 6, because that's the only game where it's only in Leon's campaign.
It was Simmons and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it has to do with Simmons and whatnot. Whatever that stuff was. Even referencing the assassination of the president and whatnot, and how he wanted to fully expose the Raccoon City incident and whatnot.
That is literally how Leon's campaign in 6 starts.
Yeah. And so then there's all the talk about like the connections, whoever they are, they have these connections with like the government and this other stuff. Like it's a very politically charged thing that is controlling everything and essentially is the heart of everything that's happened in the Resident Evil series.
In the series, literally, yeah.
Like
I think so now we're coming to the end. This is basically the setup for RE10. I think for RE10, what they can do is, again, if we're going to stay in this realm for a while of going back, revisiting a bunch of old stuff, it seems like it can still be a way to further connect everything together. We see, because and Requiem is such a cool game to have been made coming out of 2 very weird eras. The action era and the Ethan era. The action era, 4, 5, and 6, mainly 5 and 6, and of course, more so than that, just 6, is so fucking unlike most of the other games in the series. In fact, it's unlike any other game in the series. That it is so action-oriented that it's no wonder, and it is so politically driven, that it's no wonder why it's like the weird one. But 2, when you see past how weird it is, it's showing that everything that happened with Umbrella and everything like that, it's all out there. Like, if you remember reading the documents and reading this and that from the other Resident Evil games, they're trying to keep everything under the table, everything hush-hush. Everything's supposed to be in secrecy. And then once Umbrella blows up and, is out of the game and all that, like, everything gets put out there. And that's what we're hopping to we're in Africa, we're in,
Europe, and
China, we're in Europe, we're in all these other locations now, because all these other Umbrella divisions or everything else is, blowing up and everything's getting all fucked up. But 2, like, everything was also kind of starting to go out in the open by 6, because again, the president wanted to actually address Raccoon City, and he was assassinated for it. How do you continue where that left off? And then also, too, how do you continue it considering the last game before Requiem was Village, which was an end to Ethan's story, and Ethan was not connected to any of this, at least initially, because of 7 and 8. Like, it's like, because of how 6 was, from a real IRL standpoint of that game didn't do so hot, Capcom, it was almost the death of Resident Evil. They needed to backpedal hard. And they did. And 5 years later, they got 7 out there. But the decision still, even with, they had to go back to the creepy atmosphere. So they did with 7. To then make the crazy decision to bring in like all these new characters and essentially focus on a whole other side of this Resident Evil world that we've never really been to before was pretty crazy. And the only real returning character at that point was Chris. Even Ada was supposed to be in Village, and then they cut her out. So, like, Chris was the only real one that bridged everything together. Chris, with the BSAA and this and that, and
it was Chris, and also making the decision to connect Miranda to Spencer. and making the connection to where Miranda essentially inspired Spencer to start Umbrella.
And you would have thought that they would have referenced that here in Requiem, and they didn't. Again, the only real Miranda mention is her being on the coins.
Yeah, I think the only RE8 mentions that I can really sort of think of.
That and the wine bottle. That's like kind of it. But we're going to get into that in just a second. So, it's of my theory, can't talk, sorry, that with where it looks like this can go, considering, again, they've now outright asked, okay, where's Chris and what's he doing and this and that, since the BSAA are here and things like that. Now that we're bringing back the connections, which Mia was a part of, and not knowing what any of that truly meant in 7, because for as long as we stay on that boat and we play as Mia, it's still a really weird segment to watch or to play, because like it seems again like it kind of comes out of nowhere. And then they don't really elaborate too much on it. You don't even really know it's called the connections unless you're looking at documents and shit you pick up about them in 7. Because no one actually verbally says it out loud. Not that they do here either, but like now that they're starting to bring that back into the fold, and
yeah,
it's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder too if they're going to bring Mia back for another Resident Evil game.
I would have to assume so, considering that she and Rose survived from Village in the base game.
Rose's whole thing, so with the DLC, she was a teenager. So that takes place after Requiem. It's basically the latest thing to happen way at the quote-unquote end right now of the timeline. Because Requiem only takes... It is confirmed it takes place in 2028. Village is confirmed to take place around 2021, 2022. There's only a 6-year time gap. So Rose is still a little girl. She's not a teenager, but she's not a baby still either. What we do know, though, I don't think they specified when, but at some point in Rose's life, she and Mia got estranged. It's super unfortunate. But ever since finding out these abilities that Rose has and everything, Mia just really couldn't keep up with it. So she became estranged to Rose, and they're not really together as a family anymore. Ethan is dead. Straight up. He is dead. So Rose is going it alone right now, which would mean Mia's going it alone right now. Which could mean, again, yeah, if they need to find someone who is with the connections, they find Chris, they could go to Mia. So that would be super interesting if that's what they end up doing. If the connections are going to be the next big thing they have to go after.
Yeah, considering that
in the next game.
Yeah, considering how much they talked about the connections in this game, which still wasn't, which again, it wasn't a lot, but
it was a hell of a lot more than in 7.
Yeah, they referenced it a lot,
and it wasn't even referenced at all in 8. So
they try to make it a bit more of a prevalent thing in this one, where it's like you still don't know anything about it, but they're giving you enough to where maybe this might be a thing that will crop up once again somewhere.
So between the connections, Xeno, and everything with Spencer, it feels like we're closing the Raccoon City book, but we're almost doing a Raccoon City 2.0 in the sense that we're doing a modern version of that. So instead of having Wesker and Spencer and Umbrella and the Raccoon City getting blown up, we have... that already happened, so we've got the connections. Now we've got what's left of Umbrella, and we have Xeno, who I don't think is dead. I don't think he's dead. I can't say the word dead. I don't think he's dead. God, fuck this sickness. I want to be over it already. God damn it.
I don't think he's dead either, because it's like he died too quickly, and it's like you can't just do that.
And he's too much like Wesker.
One does not simply decapitate someone and expect them to be dead from that.
in general in Resident Evil, let alone a fucker that's like him.
Exactly.
Who is so close to one of the most beloved villains of the franchise.
Exactly.
You don't just do that. And with clones, all this weird shit happening, yeah, I think it's a new chapter. I think RE10 is going to give us a new chapter.
Yeah, whatever it ends up being.
I want it to be Grace still. She'll be with Leo. I mean, it's cool. Oh, also we're just fucking grazed over the fact Emily's alive.
Oh yeah, Emily was alive.
Okay,
yeah.
so she dies in the game initially because she ends up turning, in the same way that Marie turned from the little girl into.
She becomes a weird like baby monster looking thing. She looks like the baby from 7.
Kind of, yeah.
From
a Village.
But like a little bit more creepier.
And Leon ends up fucking capping her ass.
Yeah.
But then it turns out around the post credits or so, I think, or right before.
In the post credits.
Yeah, that
yeah, before the post credits, at the end.
That she's still in there, and something. What was it? I think Leon is the one that says we can still save her. Somehow he was already so sure that she wasn't actually dead.
Yeah.
Which is kind of also a first that you can actually mutate like that and then come back. I don't think that's actually really the closest thing. Sort of was Simmons, but
I was gonna say like
even then, that was just him changing back and forth at will. She obviously that was her first time going through that, and as we know, every other dude, like the dude from Revelations 2, who was with TerraSave, who had the Ouroboros in him, and from Wesker and to everyone else that has mutated like that, even to Alex Wesker, like they all mutate and they pretty much die like that. And that's the end of them. The dude from 6, or from 5, I mean, the guy with the funny accent.
Oh yeah,
That dude, I forgot his name, but
yeah, I already forgot his name.
he looked kind of like Salazar when he mutated, because it was still the Plagas. It was just the Type 2 Plagas, but he didn't die a full human. Stuff like that. Like everyone who usually morphs, look at Gideon. Like latest example, you transform and mutate, you don't really go back, but Emily did, and that's interesting because I don't think that's happened before. To my knowledge, anyway.
Yeah, to my knowledge, that didn't.
As far as the mainline stuff goes, I'll say it like that. As far as the mainline stuff goes, from my knowledge, playing through 1 through Village, it hasn't happened. So.
Yeah, and I do like the added touch of at the end of like, you see Grace's desk and stuff, and you see that she has one picture frame of her and her mom, and then another picture frame of her and Emily.
Emily, it's so cute.
Yeah, and then I like that
the fact that she's just friends with Leon, which is super sick, and of course she's like kind of it's her coming into her own, and she's finally like, now you know what it's like to go through what these guys have been through for fucking decades, and now it's more so I want to see like how is she going to step up. She's already stepped up by the end, and when she's back in the FBI office and all that, and now she has to finish that report from the beginning. She's so much more confident. You can see it now. She's very she's smiling. She's not really stuttering all that much anymore. Which is super sick. Of course, I figured it was going to get to that point. She was going to get her confidence. Yeah. So now I'm wondering if she really will be a little more...
Is she be more of a... If she's going to be a reoccurring character, then like...
The next time around, will she like...
I want to see her evolution.
She'll still be probably scared because it's still new to her, but having gone through what she's been through in this game, I'm wondering if she will... Not to say have the cockiness like Leon right away, but like
just have
she'll be more like, let's do this.
Yeah. Just be a bit more confident in doing things.
Because by the time she has to save Leon anyway, by the end of the game, she is getting that confidence that she wants to save him. Especially because she feels probably in the same way again that he feels that he couldn't save Kendo and all them, that he wanted to save Grace. Well, it flips. You know, it goes both ways. She couldn't save Emily, at least initially, so she wants to save Leon. So that's what drives them to stick together. So with her being the official new addition to the group, and we've got, you know, Jill and Barry and Chris and Claire and Leon. Now we've got...
Also, I think we also glossed over Sherry. Like, the fact that...
I've been trying to bring up Sherry, and I keep forgetting.
The fact that Sherry came back, but 2, also...
So sick.
Was just really cool.
I hope Hunnigan's okay. Like, at first, when we heard that voice and it was Leon's reveal trailer, they did not show Sherry, so I was like... Is that Hunnigan? I even said that in the reaction. I'm like, is he talking to Hunnigan?
Yeah, but I think that's always the assumption, is that anytime that he's talking to a woman over the thing, it's Hunnigan.
It's Hunnigan.
So everyone just assumed that that's who it was. And then when it showed that overhead shot, not showing
her face, but
short
blonde hair, it's like,
it's oh fuck, that they brought back this character from 6.
But what happened to Jake?
But what about Jake?
It's so funny because look what they were trying to do. I feel like they were trying to... What they did with Grace, I think, is what they tried to do initially with Jake. They wanted you to get invested in this character who's the son of Wesker. He's a test tube baby. He's got these abilities, and there's like antibodies in his blood. Like, okay, which puts a big target on his back from all the other dudes, that the government and shit that wants him. And so it's
because at the end of that, like Sherry,
and that was kind of a cool dynamic having him and Sherry together, because she's a Raccoon City survivor. So, and then her growing up at all, like in general, the fact that she's like 18 or something or other in that game, like it's super cool to see that like all that time later, and she's like all grown up. It's really cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that, like, yeah, at the end of that campaign, she is like, oh, we keep they were gonna keep Jake's identity as a Wesker a secret from like the government and
Yes,
stuff
I
like
remember
that.
that.
So again, that's where it's like, so because of the fact that Sherry came back in this game and is kind of just like the woman in the chair for Leon, but still has the same like infection that he has and stuff like that. But again, it's the fact that they brought her back from that game, so it's like, are they?
Well, too, as well.
Like,
Well,
is there a chance that they
okay.
could?
You have to remember too. Again, it's not like she debuted in 6.
Oh no, I know, but
Having her there
I
because she
know.
started in 2
Yeah,
is still
no.
really cool.
Yeah.
She still looks the same as she does in 6.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
Is that? But it's more so. But I'm saying we're leading it more so to
But
say
her last
like,
appearance was in 6.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like, what are we? Is it possible that we could actually see Jake again at some
That's
point?
what I'm feeling. Because
I feel like he's too important. Like if you're gonna relate, if you're gonna have him be related to the most beloved villain ever,
how come everyone
he
related?
feels too important to be just left out.
How come everyone related to Wesker gets like a bit of screen time to shine, and then boom, they're capped? Fucking Jake, Alex, and now Zeno. Like, what the fuck do you mean? No, it all has to connect somehow. I don't know about Alex, but with Jake, he is actively still alive. Okay, he wasn't capped. What I meant to say was they just kind of forgot about him.
Yeah.
Again, 6 being so fucking controversial, yeah, it is cool to even see them pull Sherry out from there, and it's like, oh, that's not her last appearance. Cool. And she'll probably be the definitive girl in the chair now. When do we get to play as Hunnigan? I don't fucking know. Like, bring her back, though. at least confirm for us that she's still good and all that. Because she's a cool character as well. And she's even in the movies. She's in at least one or so CGI movie. Fucking 4 and 6 and 4 remake. Like, come on. But yeah, I'm thinking if, again, with Zeno, if he comes back into the fray and they revive him, and if Wesker things come back, at some point, someone's got to go for Jake and be like, yo, we need you for something.
Yeah,
like,
because,
or something, right? I mean,
because Jake's body has like antibodies for like the virus. That's why he never got infected.
Why wasn't he Opus?
Right.
But it's interesting. I don't know. Like, again, there's a lot they can do. There's still so much more they can pull from. Again, acknowledging the Ethan era with Mia. Maybe Rose, again, as a little girl, but like mainly Mia because of the connections.
Yeah.
I feel she's going to come back into the fold. Again, they've already set it up. To find her, you gotta find Chris. They're already asking where Chris is. So, and the last thing we saw of Chris was in Village. So it can all connect right there. They don't have to abandon the Ethan era, and they really shouldn't. Especially if you tie Miranda and all that into why Spencer even did what he did in the first place, even if it's not acknowledged here in this one. But there is still a way for RE10, just to conclude this, to tie it all back together. And again, if we're going to continue this whole legacy thing and trying to click these little pieces in and stuff and not forget any one era or whatever, this would be the way to do it. Bring back... What about fucking Neo or Blue Umbrella? That was not really elaborated on after 6 and 7. So... what the fuck is that? And what does that entail? And why was Ada like a part of that? And will we fucking see Ada? Hey, okay, let's talk about the Ada in the room. Or not, because she's not there. Where the fuck is Ada? She was not even so much as referenced in this game. Apparently, I was told that in some moments when Leon doesn't have his gloves on, you can see a ring, which would imply that they're married or something. I don't fucking know, but he doesn't even so much as... He doesn't mention Ada. No one else really does. I mean, there's no point for anyone else to, but like...
There's no like a letter or anything.
She's not in the game. When the floodlights came on at the end and they were ready to die and the BSAA came in, I thought Ada was going to be there with them. I straight up thought Ada would be there with them. But no, she's not there, and she got cut out of Village. So, this is the first RE game with Leon as some kind of a protagonist, where she's not in it, She was there with him in 2, introduced right alongside him. She's there in 4. She's there in 6. This is the first one. It's crazy. So hopefully she comes back in. If they find a good, clean way to reintroduce a lot more of the characters, like Jill, like Chris, bringing him back in, like Ada, like Mia, and how much they've changed and everything. I mean, Jill's gonna look older. Ada's gonna look a little bit older. Mia might look largely the same, but it would be cool to see them all, and not just for the sake of look, they're back. No, they need to have a purpose. Again, Mia being part of the connections, it just makes sense. That, oh, Chris knows somebody, or the fact of we're gonna go find Chris. Chris, do you know anything about this? Well, I know this person who was part of that thing. She would have had to have filled him in to some degree that of what this thing is, or he has to be acutely aware of it somehow. So all in all, the game was good. It's a good game.
Yeah, I mean, besides the weird...
a lot of questions, still.
Besides the weird pacing stuff with some of the story and things like that, Requiem is a good
solid.
game.
It's super solid.
It's a very solid, it's a very much, if you are familiar with, modern Resident Evil, if you've ever really, I don't know, played, one of the remakes or something, this is very much like that. It's, it follows that sort of thing, so it's, if you like the more modern formula, then you'll definitely love the game for that.
But having all the familiar stuff, I mean, with Leon and his attaché case, having that little digital merchant later with all the stuff you can do with interacting with the BSAA stuff, having Grace with her more RE2 styled gameplay with, some of the stealth from kind of 7 and kind of all that, but then the Leon and the RPD type, RE2 specifically, stuff with all of that, with that inventory system, with the hip pouches, and the item box. And having just that creepy feel all around, it's very good for that. It doesn't feel, the creep factor here does not feel the way I felt about RE7, ironically enough. Because RE7, I mean, to a degree, right? Because RE7, like we said in that previous podcast, was meant to be a horror game through and through. And for the first chunk, third kind of half, it is. It's a very, very good horror game. When it comes to the bakers talking to you and stuff when you're fighting them and all that, it gets a little silly. And then by the time of Lucas, it's okay, you cannot take him seriously. He's a deranged fucking freak, but he's not really that scary. There is a goddamn part in 7 when he puts on a show in a barn looking place. I cannot talk. Fuck. It's a barn, and there's rock music playing, and there's lights blaring, and you're fighting 2 fat molded. And he's on the overhead ride him, cowboy, let's go, fuck you, woohoo. He's saying a bunch of dumb shit. It's what? This is not what we started with. What is this? What's happening here? And I'm not saying this stuff. I'm trying to also retroactively go back, because it sounded, when we talked about 7, I was talking about it as if I didn't like it. That is not the case at all. I do like 7 a lot. It's not my favorite, and I'm being honest, but it thoroughly surprised me. But I'm going to stay honest and speak my mind when I say that it does start out as a very good horror game. It's creepy as hell with plenty of jump scares. Second half is really silly. When it gets into the Evelyn stuff, it kind of finds itself again, but maybe it's just Lucas's part that I have a problem with, as far as the feel and the atmosphere. It's not scary. It's really weird and it's very weird. But with Requiem and Village too, has some creep. The main stuff is in Benevento, as we said before, but everything from Moreau to Heisenberg's more kind of cool, and he's more aggressive. He's not so much as scary.
Yeah, and I mean, and of course that's just because of the reception.
And they toned it down a bit because of 7.
Because of the reception of 7.
Requiem, they said, "Nah, action, no, fuck you again. We're gonna make it creepy again."
Yeah,
and they did, and it retains the creep factor for a lot longer throughout the game, even in Leon's parts. For as still action-ish as it gets, it's very close to RE4's action than RE5 or especially RE6's action. It's closer to 4. There are still bits even in Leon's part of the story where it's fuck, this is still very creepy.
Yeah,
you still have to exercise caution. You know,
because we even glossed over this too. Getting to fight, what was it Plant 43?
getting to actually fight Plant 43, yeah, that was crazy. The fact that 30 years later in universe it's still around, it's like, oh fuck.
And it like took over like a part of
For like a second, I was like, we saw all the roots and shit. I'm like, is this the Megamycete? What is this doing in Raccoon City? And I thought they were going to try to find a way to bridge Ethan's stuff with this in that way. And I'm like, what the fuck is this doing here? Like, what? No, it's Plant 43. I was like, oh, well, that's still cool.
Yeah, when I saw the flowers and stuff, I was like, is it? I was thinking, I was like, is this like the plant?
Initially, I thought it was Plant 42.
That's what I thought too. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's where my mind went. I was like, what was that plant boss in one?
Because you said 1, I was like, yeah, it's Plant 42. Oh, that could be this. And then
and then in like a letter or something
they straight up confirm it's Plant 43.
This is Plant 43, and it's like,
because you don't fight it in 2 remake. I'm not sure if you do in the original RE2, but in remake you don't. You just have to shoot the herbicide into it.
Yeah, you navigate through it, and then you have to make the herbicide.
So for it to actually be alive, and what if it remembered him, like somehow in some weird way? Because again, he tried to kill it with herbicide. So like,
I mean, probably. Again,
for
the fact
a plant to remember Leon.
Yeah, considering the fact that you're fighting it as Leon, so like, and it's aggressive, very aggressive. So when you're fighting it, so I mean,
But yeah, I think that's about it.
Also, there's a big spider.
The big, which reminded me of the Black Tiger.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was very reminiscent of that.
Very scary.
What was it called? The Titan Spinner or some shit?
Titan Spinner, yeah.
That was a pretty cool name for it. Yeah, it had to have been some kind of offhand reference to the spiders in RE1.
Yeah, because it's like a brief fight that you have with it. And
yeah,
then, like,
super quick boss fight. Really cool though.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, besides all that other stuff, like,
I mean, even the T-virus zombies from in Raccoon City, they're not intelligent. They are T-virus zombies. Like they went back to the OG zombies.
Yeah, I like that they retroactively brought back Crimson Heads by calling them
Blister Heads.
Yeah, Blister Heads or whatever.
Jesus, I can't believe we went this entire time without referencing.
Like, I did talk about the actual enemies.
The Crimson,
like,
the Blister Heads. Yeah, they are Crimson Heads, and too again with the hemolytic injectors. We talked about those a little bit, but like. Again, it's all about choosing what to use on who. That goes for weapons, because you can use... This is the first game that just outright gives you your Magnum. You don't unlock it.
Yeah.
Leon just has his mag, and then he gives it to Grace. Then she gives it back. So, like, you have that Magnum. But crafting ammo, or finding ammo especially, is super rare, as it should be for a mag in a Resident Evil game. But, you need to use that sparingly, and you can take out blister heads in one shot if you headshot them. So, and of course they're still useful against bosses. So it's really cool that you actually have it. But everything is very adjusted in terms of the difficulty, in terms of how many shots they take before they go down, which feels more fair. Kind of like RE4 or RE3 or something, not like RE2 remake where you can literally just fucking pump like 20 bullets into a motherfucker's head and they still won't go down. You have to shotgun them from like essentially point blank for them to fucking explode. Then it happens every other shotgun shot. Every other time you fire with a shotgun, then you're just getting fucking headshots left and right. But here in Requiem, the balance is a lot more fair in the sense of like, they don't go down so easily, but they go down quick. And then they have the ability to turn into a blister head unless you hit the corpse with that injector, or if you hit them with the injector when they're already a blister head, or you can one-shot them with the mag. So there's plenty of ways to take them out, but they are aggressive. And you don't want to get hit by them because they will bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, they will multi-hit you,
and there is no such thing as iframes in Resident Evil, so you won't get fucking hit multiple times rapidly.
You are going to lose half your health if you don't.
Can we fucking talk real quick too? Because I just remembered about in Ark, the fucking one and only time I can think of where you're fighting regular guys.
Oh, right.
The elite guards.
Yeah, the elite guards, and even the commander as well.
We'll talk about him in just a second, but like, what you died so many times to those guys because they no joke.
They
will
your
pop,
health.
pop, and you are dead like within those literal 3 shots.
They will literally delete your health like that if you are not careful. And
it's true.
It's brutal. It's like, oh my fucking god.
It's insane, but they're not even infected or anything. They're just guys working with
Yeah, they're not infected guys. They're just soldiers.
Yeah, with Gideon in them.
Yeah.
And did we kill Hunk? Was that Hunk? People have been reacting to him, and from his gas mask to his voice, which I'm not sure if it's the same voice actor, that looked like Hunk.
Yeah, the implied history between them, even though that's the first time that they've like met.
That's true.
So it's like,
but
is he not?
I think that's just the resilience of the both of them. Is the implication?
I guess
because Leon's been through all this shit, and then Hunk's, for those who for some reason don't know, human unit never killed. He's every strike team he's a part of. He's always the sole survivor, which is how he also got the nickname the Grim Reaper. And he talks, that commander, as they just call him, nameless commander, talks a lot about death and stuff. He also, I found out, if he kills you a certain way, he can grab you like this and just pop, twist your head. And he'll do this little like front animation where he puts his hands up. That's a Hunk thing. He does that in Mercenaries.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I think that's Hunk. We fucking killed Hunk, dude. What the fuck? Like, he is a bizarre, just like Tofu. This dude, which Tofu is a parody of Hunk, so it makes sense. For being like not a part of the plot at fucking all, for the most part, like Hunk is still so goddamn. He is like the fake Crash of Resident Evil. If you know what I mean by that, you know. Like, he is so in the background, but he is so consistent in his appearances that's like, what? And here with Hunk, it's like, that's gotta be Hunk. Like, he looks, acts, and sounds like Hunk.
Yeah, consider the fact, and also consider the fact that like, yeah, the fact that he deliberately takes you on head on, and you fight him as Leon, and and he's like very fucking aggressive. When you fight him.
He's insane.
He's essentially kind of like Krauser 2.0, where like,
oh yeah, that whole fight felt like Krauser.
Yeah, you have to parry him and like hit him with the axe and stuff. You can't shoot him at all.
Yeah, shit's wild.
Like, yeah, it's like
that's crazy.
Like, holy shit!
But you do you kill him. You kill that dude to progress, and it's like, oh god, I think we just killed Hunk. I was like, how funny would it be if this game has the mercenaries and he's not there? You can't play as him.
Now he's just Huck. Human unit killed.
Oh no.
Oh my god. Okay, but what about my boy Agent from Sans?
They're never bringing that motherfucker back. I'm sorry to tell you this. Agent will never be referenced. If they reference motherfucking Agent before Jake, I'm actually going to be upset at Capcom.
I would laugh my ass
I'm
off.
going to write a very detailed letter to John Capcom and be like, how fucking dare you?
Oh my god.
I think that's all we can say about Requiem. There's probably some more, but we've been going for about 3 hours, and that's pretty long to talk about one fucking game.
Yeah.
But that's how you know, though. It was good. It's good. It's solid. And it sets up RE10, so... We'll
just see what happens.
We'll have to see what happens in the next, 3 fucking years or so.
Yeah, and just
we're probably going to get another remake before, We're probably going to get another remake before,
like, a new
RE10.
Like, entry, yeah.
But, call it Rex, REX. I wonder if they'll find a way to bring back...
Mr. Rex.
Oh, jeez. I wonder if they're going to find a way to bring back the Roman numerals again, or if they're going to go with... Because it was so cool how they managed to sneak in, not the Roman numeral 9, but just the regular number 9 into the title.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
the Q in Requiem, so it looks like RE9. So sick, so fucking creative. I wonder if... this will be a really funny... This would be so funny if someone thought about that and said, why don't we call the next one Requiem so we can do the Q as a 9 and call it RE9, and they're like, that sounds so sick, dude. You get a raise. Also, we're taking that raise away from you because now you've just created a problem for us. We have to create a whole game around that concept. Like they came up with the title first and said, "Okay, now make a game around that."
Probably. Considering the kind of weird pacing, you know, it's kind of how it felt.
But,
a little bit, but you know.
No, it's solid. It's cool. There's not much left to say. I'm a broken
rambling.
record at this point.
Yeah, we're rambling.
Tune in next time, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, they have a chance to connect more things together, bridge more characters, bring back characters like Jill and Chris again, and Rebecca. Please, can we even Claire's made more appearances, playable, mind you, appearances than Rebecca. Rebecca was only playable in 0.
I'd like to see Ashley return, honestly.
I want to see that too. Like I said in the other podcast, I want to see Ashley come back and be some kind of an agent or something. Like that would be so sick.
Or even somehow get Sheva involved again or something.
What the hell is Sheva doing these days?
I don't know. I'm just saying. Like,
what is she doing these days?
Where,
Helena.
Where are these characters? Like,
or Helena and Pierce. Oh, Pierce died. That's right.
Yeah, Pierce died. Pierce fucking died.
Pierce fucking morphed and then he died. See?
He morphed and he died.
To save Chris. Chris's way.
Chris's way.
If Zeno says 7 minutes, I'm going to have words with John Capcom. Like, what are you doing? Wesker.